I mean, it's podcast time.
It's like 2:30.
There's a lot of podcasts. There is a lot of podcasts to be had this week. A lot of shit happened. Big news.
Giant news.
Huge
news.
Sized.
Biggest news.
Double sized.
Kaiju mega stuffed news.
Yeah, for me.
Not for me. I don't know. This is all a surprise for me, so I'm excited.
Hey, everybody keeps getting presents from the video game industry, Amanda.
Yeah.
Like Matt keeps getting Godzilla's and Dave the Diver.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Michael keeps getting like, it's season 6.
My present?
Where's my present? I finally got a fucking present this week.
What about Jeff?
Happy birthday to me, I guess. Welcome back everyone to the RageSelect podcast here at RageSelect. I'm Jeff. It's not my birthday.
I'm Amanda. It's not mine either, but I will accept gifts.
Yes, cakes and cookies and junket stuff. Yeah, we had a Nintendo Direct, and we had a bunch of other stuff, and we're going to get to all that. But before we do that,
yes,
it's funny. I spent this entire week kind of like half-heartedly, like I couldn't tell whether I liked it or not, watching this like whole 8-hour Netflix show, and then just to have something to put in the thumbnail of RageSelect.
Sure.
And then like they put out this Borderlands trailer, and it's all like,
oh, good.
It's all useless. I could have just done that instead.
Well, what did you watch that you half liked?
So I was just like, there wasn't anything big this week. There wasn't anything like big out there, and I'm still kind of getting to the point where I'm gonna watch the Taylor Swift eras thing, because like, I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I'll watch it. Drunk Jeff get drunk and watch fucking Taylor Swift dance and sing and shit. Like, I don't care.
Absolutely.
There's a show on Netflix that came on there relatively recently called House of Ninjas.
House of Ninjas.
And like, what you just said is like, yeah, I hadn't heard of it either.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no idea what the hell it was about, and so I put it on.
Sounds like a Nickelodeon show. Like the title sounds like a Nickelodeon show.
It's a terrible title.
Yeah.
It sounds like a
it sounds like every opening would be like, "Hey, what's up? My name is Jason Lee, and I'm a ninja, and so's the rest of my family."
Oh,
you know what I mean? And we're House of Ninjas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It was not that.
Yeah, thank God.
It was basically like a cross between a Japanese soap opera and then a bunch of ninja shit, but it hewed a lot closer to the soap opera part.
Yeah,
where you've got a lot of like interfamily drama. Where
does it play a little like a live action anime?
Little bit, except it does have that problem that I keep running into, where whenever they make like real people do
anime shit, it doesn't look cool. Yeah,
it looks okay.
Yeah, borderline silly town.
Yeah, so there's just there's a lot of it. It's like there's a whole family, and one of the
we're a house of ninjas.
And one of their kids died in a ninja battle.
Aww.
And they're all kind of weird, and like the Bureau of Ninja Management, literally they have that like written on the door.
Yeah,
keeps trying to get them to come back, and there's like a cult of religious wackos, and maybe there are ancient ninja enemies, and like dramatic revelations, and like ninja fights, sort of a little bit
ninja fights.
Yeah,
I feel like this should be mostly ninja fights.
I expected far more ninja fights.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they were hour long, and there were 8 of them, and that's not a lot, but it just meant that I had to like, I couldn't like leisurely watch it. I had to be like, okay, I gotta get through 3 of these today.
Yeah. So not a lot. Like 8 episodes isn't crazy.
Yes.
But at the same time, when they're an hour long, an 8-hour shift feels like a long day to me.
Yeah. So it was like good. It got a really high kind of like rating overall. Like it's got like 4.6 out of 5 on Google reviews, and like 7.4 out of 10 on.
Based on anything?
I don't think so.
Because sometimes those reviews get a little higher when it's like, I was just so happy to finally see this character in real life or whatever.
It's a real weird. Okay, it's real weird too, because there's a. Okay, let me see if I can find it. This guy, the guy that made it is called Dave Boyle. And he's made a bunch of Japanese movies. I have no idea what's up with this guy. And I've never watched any of his movies.
Yeah.
Big Dreams, Little Tokyo, White on Rice, Surrogate Valentine, The Man from Reno. Apparently they're all like Sundance Award nominee, like, big in the indie circuit. You can apparently watch Surrogate Valentine.
And he doesn't live in Austin?
Apparently not.
Sorry, I just assumed.
Yeah.
I made a bunch of critically acclaimed films that nobody watches, and he doesn't live in Austin.
I think this Surrogate Valentine is on like YouTube in its entirety. It's like a black and white movie about a Japanese guy who's like a singer-songwriter, and like he hooks up with this other dude, like is like, man, you must get laid all the time, and he's just like really shy and doesn't, and then it's like kind of a quirky romance type of thing.
Oh, cute.
But it was like, I was like, wait, who directed this? And I looked at this guy, and I'm like, indie fall in love black and white Valentine guy?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it was really weird, at the end of a lot of the episodes, to have like a very dramatic kind of finale. They'll play like these, they're like 70s like folk songs over what's going on. So there was like one that had like Crosby, Stills and Nash, and like the zombies, the mamas and the papas and stuff.
That's
and they'll just like
funny.
pop up in the middle of an episode, and you're like,
did it feel shoved in there, or did it feel organic, or did it feel?
Well, I like that kind of thing.
Wasn't there a television show that did that? Like an American one though, that had needle drops at the end of every episode.
Is it the Nora's Infinite Playlist?
No, that's not a television show. That's a movie.
No, did they make a show out of that? Wasn't that
Making Nora's Infinite Playlist?
Wasn't there like a Hulu show based on that movie that was like a thing or something? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I was thinking more of like maybe. No, I don't know.
I don't know.
I felt like a Marvel film TV show, like one of those Netflix ones or something. Like maybe Luke Cage, or
I know there was a lot of music in Luke Cage.
It might have. I might be thinking of Luke, but I don't remember now. But had that vibe.
It was fine though. Like, you know, I would say like if you watch the first episode, you're going to know what you're in for, and then it's kind of a mystery. It's kind of like because like they're these modern day ninjas that work for the Bureau of Ninjas, and they're basically just spies.
Yeah,
they're basically just kung fu spies. So if you do that, there's like some interesting kind of like, oh, what's going to happen, and there's like tension between the family and the Bureau of Ninja Management.
Yeah,
which is every time I say it is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, because it feels
like,
sillier and sillier every time.
Yes.
Do they have badges? Freeze.
No, it was interesting. It was an interesting stab at something, and it wasn't completely. It was just like it was fine. It just wasn't like it wasn't terrible, and it didn't knock my socks off either.
If they do a second season, would you watch it?
Probably not.
No.
A lot of Netflix shows that I just kind of like I have to be really into a Netflix show to watch second season.
Yeah.
So like I liked Russian Doll season 1, and the second one came out, and I was just never got around to it.
Yeah. Also, like, don't fall in love with a Netflix show though.
Right.
Because,
also that.
like, ooh,
yeah,
that's a risk.
So anyway, that happened. I don't know. What about you, Amanda? Do you guys something more exciting than Milk Toast?
So I promised you I would watch Madam Web, and then I went and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't finger on the like remote, kind of like shaking, like, oh, I can't.
Wait, Madam Web is on streaming?
No, but you know, just more visual for people as opposed to finger on the button to buy the tickets. And I said, I can't do it. The point being, I just couldn't. I just was like, this is not. I'm not going to pay money to watch it in theaters, and I'm.
Yeah, I mean, I will steal that movie.
Yeah, I considered.
I have no problem stealing that movie.
I definitely considered. It was in the air. I thought maybe I'll be a little pirate today, but you know.
Well, but I'm also not going to steal the crappy version. I'm not going to suffer through a cam rip of Madam Web.
I feel like it would be better that way. Like, then you're more forgiving.
Yeah.
I think you're just like, well, you know, maybe it was a better movie, but I watched it over somebody's shoulder off of a cell phone.
No, I want to watch it.
And then you never watch it again, and you just have mildly mid feelings about it.
I don't know. Michael said that it was amazing and awesome because it was so fucking bad that it was the most hilarious movie. Like,
so we watched a horribly shitty movie for New Year's. Right? You had us watch.
Whatever. Oh, New Year's Evil?
Yeah, and I have a feeling like it will be the New Year's Evil of some group of friends.
Be careful.
Do you know what I mean?
New Year's Evil is well beloved by a lot of horror fans.
That's fine. They can come at me. Yeah, no, I just watched a couple of films off the list. Mindhunters and Deja Vu. I think I talked about Deja Vu a little bit.
I think it was on Patreon, one of the Alan Wakes.
One of the Alan Wakes.
Yeah.
Enjoyable early 2000s, like 2005 was Mindhunters, 2006 was Deja Vu.
Yeah.
Fun. Val Kilmer's barely in one of them. He's in the other one the whole movie and nobody remembered, which is kind of funny.
trying to think of that Mindhunters movie. I just don't know that I remember it at
Val
all.
Kilmer is a professor for the FBI teaching a class of there's also a television series you might actually have to look up. He's teaching a class of what are they called? Profilers.
Uh-huh.
And his methods are extreme, and he will like literally do a full simulation, so they'll think they're catching like they're going to actual crime scenes. There will be corpses everywhere. The whole first part of the movie is them like walking through what is essentially a horror a house of horrors.
Yeah.
That's a crime scene, and then they get graded on how they react to everything. And then he sends them to an island for their like final test, and then they start actually dying. Oh, and LL Cool J shows up to investigate the teacher.
And Johnny Lee Miller? Did I see a Johnny Lee Miller
Yes,
in there?
you did. So Clifton Collins Jr., Johnny Lee Miller. I can't remember the main woman in it, but she's on Cold Case. If anybody likes police procedurals, she did this like right middle of Cold Case. Christian Slater, if I didn't say him already. Yeah, it's actually a really decent cast as far as 2005. But it's fun, it's silly. If you like police procedural or
Rennie Harlan, huh?
Yeah. It kind of it's just weird. Like it's so dated. But if you like enjoy watching dated stuff where you're like, wow, they would never make this now. Mm-hmm. And not in a like too woke or whatever, but I just mean like you have to make so many leaps in logic during it, and I just feel like modern audiences would not be okay with people being like, we're profilers, and I looked at you and I knew right away that you would want this cigarette, and therefore this cigarette was laced with acid and you're dying now. And it's like, what? Okay. That's crazy.
Well, I might have to revisit at some point.
It's fun.
Okay, before we get into this is video game related, right?
Yes.
We're talking about weird movies and TV shows. Mm-hmm. We got our first look finally at Borderlands 2024.
Yay.
The full trailer. It starts now. I hate that they did make a tiny teaser for the trailer I clicked on to watch.
It's a tiny teaser for Tiny Tina.
It's a tiny teaser wonderland.
I have several thoughts.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, just the trailer is just Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it is cut. It's not just the fact that it has a song, but it's like all the cuts, all the comedy beats,
even the visual, the like splash of colors that are going through.
The part like towards the end where Kate Blanchett's character is telling Tiny Tina how it's like, you know, you're special because there's only like one of you or whatever. It's like that's fucking Guardians right there, man. Like,
I would be surprised if somebody doesn't put them next to each other, like just put both.
I love this. I love that part where they're like, from the producer of Uncharted, Spider-Man, and Venom, because you know the director had his name taken off, or no, the guy that wrote the script was the guy that wrote like Last of Us and Chernobyl, or he was the director maybe, and he was like, take my fucking name off that shit. Like he Alan Smithy that shit to be like, I don't want to be associated with whatever this is.
So funny.
So that's why you get from the producer.
Yeah.
And then it's listed Uncharted, Spider-Man, and Venom. And it's like,
okay.
Which Spider-Man?
Yeah. Real vague on that Spider-Man.
Why did you lead with Uncharted? Everybody hated / didn't watch that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, howdy, does this just look? I mean, you know, actually, you know what? I've been talking a lot of shit about this. I watch this. If all they do is rip off a Guardians of the Galaxy script, I'll be honest, there are a few of the parts with Jack Black as Claptrap that were somewhat funny.
Yeah.
I don't have a skin in the Borderlands game. I hate fucking Tiny Tina, but like I feel very neutral. Like I don't care that Kevin Hart looks nothing like Roland.
Yeah, that means nothing to me.
Kate Blanchett is too old to play.
It's just weird. Okay,
Siren or whatever.
Lilith. I really like that character, and I really like Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
This is not an appropriate. This is borderline embarrassing in a like, and I don't, this is gonna sound worse and like I'm really judging Kate Blanchett on this, but in a like, you're watching your mom in cosplay for the first time.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, sure, it's cute and fun, and like, I'm not saying she's not wildly attractive. Like, she's fucking hot in this movie.
Hell yeah, she is.
But like, that is not the character, and it's weird to keep like. This would be equally embarrassing if they had gotten like Arnold Schwarzenegger to play a younger character. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Where it's just like, I feel really weird that you guys are like, the sexy heartthrob, Sylvester Stallone. Like, no, it doesn't make sense. He's too old to play that kind of character.
Also, I had to look it up. I don't know if you caught that, but they have Moxie in there for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck Eli Roth and fucking what's his face Gearbox guy got these people. That's Gina Gershon is playing Mad Ms. Moxie, and I'm like, well, you know, in spite of it all, like, okay, listen, Eli Roth is directing it, but like, I don't hate every single thing Eli Roth has ever done. Like, I don't hate all of it. And the thing is that this isn't a horror movie. This isn't
72% of everything he's come up on.
It's also not a horror movie. So
I don't know if that means it's going to be better or not. Are his not horror movies better?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's hit or miss when it comes to horror for me, because he's I
don't think he's ever made a not horror movie.
He's a horror historian, and so he has this like tendency to like pull from certain kinds of horror to make his horror.
Oh god, I forgot they remade Cabin Fever. What the hell? Why? And he made that Death Wish. Was that Bruce Willis, the Death Wish remake? I don't know. All I'm saying, look, this is all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that this could all like, this is, I don't feel like there's a lot of like, high grade filmmaking that has to get done in order to make this movie. Like, it's a lot of special effects and props, and they look pretty good in this trailer.
Do you know what it kind of looks like to me, though?
What's that?
Like, it should be a Netflix thing. Yeah. Like, it should be streaming somewhere.
It's on Peacock. It's coming to Peacock.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see it I don't know. I also kind of have a feeling like all these actors that they get in it and stuff, I was feeling this way about Madam Web, and there is this like vague conspiracy theory about it that producers are kind of lying to actors to like the people from Madam Web thought that they were in a Marvel, like the MCU.
Okay.
So they were like, ooh, like we're getting a part of that whole thing. And I kind of wonder if we're going to get anything that is from a licensed thing, if they're pitching it like we're going to build like it's a Marvel. Do you know what I mean? And they think they're getting into something.
So what Michael was telling me, it sounds like to me,
except Jamie Lee Curtis, who I believe fully knew what kind of movie she was getting into, because she's weird and she's like into this kind of thing. I
think so. What Michael was telling me was that between Eli Roth and God, what the fuck?
Gearbox guy that
Randy Pitchford.
Thank you.
That they've done favors for a lot of folks over the years, and that this is
in Hollywood that could literally mean anything.
This is the like, I'm calling in my favor.
Yeah.
Yo, Kate, I need you to come out here for 2 months, like, and we'll give you $6 million. Like, you know, you're Kate fucking Blanchett. You're gonna walk on. You're gonna do your shit. You're gonna go home, right? Like,
because I know. And maybe it's with Kate Blanchett as well, because I think really the young girl that's playing Tiny Tina, this is a thing for her. Yeah. Like, this could be a vehicle to a career, because I don't know her from anything else. Yeah. And she's young, so even if she's from other things, getting into something like this would be a big deal.
I also find it weird that they don't credit the guy playing Krieg, the psycho. Like, he's obviously part of this group. Yeah. Like,
who is he?
It's
Jason Statham.
It's not anybody. It's not anybody.
Academy Award winner. No, but I kind of wonder if maybe Jamie Lee Curtis and Kate Blanchett and Gina Gershon are like just doing side quests at this point in life, you know?
Florian Munteanu. He was Drago in Creed 2. He was Razor Fist in Shang-Chi.
Razor Fist is a great name.
He was like the right-hand man guy in Shang-Chi.
I didn't watch Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay.
I watch Marvel movies. I have more thought and a smarter person than that. Anyway, Val Kilmer movies.
He was in The Contractor with Chris Pine in 2022, where he's like...
I'm convinced Chris Pine only does a good movie once every 8 movies.
What is this horseshit? Him standing in front of American flag.
Did Michael Bay direct it?
Tarek Saleh, who did Metropia, Tommy, the Niall Hilton incident, and also Boy from Heaven equals Cairo Conspiracy. That guy.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm actually going to say, like, look, it might be a movie you can watch drunk and be like, that was 90 minutes. You know what? You know what's going to decide it for me?
What?
Is how long it is. If it is 2 hours and 20 minutes,
yeah, go fuck yourself.
Too fucking much.
Yeah,
I don't need your Kevin Hart piss jokes. If it is 100 minutes, I'm right there. That's fine. Don't waste 100%. My fucking time.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Because if this is 90 minutes, I'd be like, you know what? All right, that's not like whatever. You fucking. I feel like putting something on in the background. I'm probably not even gonna fully be like. Paying attention to it, but it's colorful, it's action packed, and it's quippy lines, and then the music, the soundtrack, best be banging.
Keep those action scenes short to the point.
Didn't the first and like second Borderlands trailers have like very famous songs in them? Like, is it "Ain't No Rest for the Wicked" a Borderlands trailer song?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't remember.
Because I feel like I remember like the first of all, didn't the first Borderlands start with you in like a transport with music blaring over it?
I thought that was the second one.
It might be.
No, the second one is where you start on the ice. You're on a train. You're on the train.
I only played the first two, and it's all a blur at this point, so I don't know.
Electric Light Orchestra. No, that's a different...
mean, like, why didn't they use the sound beats from the song beats from the actual movie and not the another movies? Not that I don't think.
It's Randy Pitchford on Borderlands trailers, Guardians of the Galaxy vibes on IGN.
Well,
anyway.
it's
it's an homage.
It's an homage.
It's an homage.
It's not ripping them off.
It's an homage.
If we say it.
Yeah. Okay, we've now spent way too long on all this.
My bad.
We got to get to it. Finally, Christmas came for Jeff.
Yep.
It's been 2 years, and we finally got the first actual, honest to God, Elden Ring DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree trailer. Mm-hmm. They put out one teaser image like last year, maybe the year before.
And every morning you look at the image and you kiss it and you pray to the gods.
Nah. I mean, the thing is that I find it easier to just be like, what's on the plate for this week? Like, focus on what's now. There was a lot of chatter, though, that this might come out in February because there was a bunch of different, like, pre-orders for, like, controllers that were branded that talked about DLC.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that we got, like, halfway through February, and it was like, well, they're not going to put it out at the end of February. They're going to have at least a trailer and, like, a month of pre-orders at least.
Yeah.
So, but... we got a full-on trailer. 3 whole minutes.
It's beautiful.
Elden Ring, yeah.
Except for that one Berserk-looking guy. But the rest looks nice. I don't like Berserk.
You don't like the Berserks?
No, it's too scary.
Well, Miyazaki, he's a big fan of Berserk. So.
He is also kind of scary.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff. I don't want to like go over all of this.
But I will. Anyway, sit down and relax, everybody.
We're not doing Nintendo. We're just doing an hour of this. I like this big Colossus basket that apparently from an interview is full of like corpses that are all on fire.
Ow.
So
yeah, he looks nice. I like the worm eating a guy.
Yeah,
with arms.
Like, spitting him out. There's some cool looking bosses.
Yeah.
There's some interesting. They said that the DLC area is going to be the size of Limgrave, but maybe slightly bigger, and it's supposed to have like what was it? Somebody put in a little bullet point. It was Michael maybe in our Discord. New area larger than Limgrave, 10 new bosses, 8 new weapons, 1 boss on par with or greater than Melania, which is probably going to be this fucking asshole.
Yeah,
this snake douche, boy.
Yeah.
who is, one of the other things that Miyazaki really likes is to put a really skinny person in the game, and then they're just like they hit harder than the hardest goddamn freight train. There's some interesting new spells and weapons that we see. People are really excited about the fact that this character does like a jump kick, because there's not really any like non-weapon skills in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
So the idea that you can have like a kung fu build, because right now unarmed is like useless.
Yeah, that just means dead faster.
Yep.
Is that a bear's severed head?
So I think that's what's interesting is there's a whole series of skills that you can get in OG Elden Ring that are like dragon powers, and when you get them, they manifest as like skills, and when you use them, it's like you can manifest like a giant dragon head in front of you that breathes fire on people, and that's what this bear head looks a lot like, even though it could also be an enemy that's using it. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here. I'm very curious about this big fucking
dragging his mouth on the ground.
Weird rhino looking guy.
Yeah, he's like part hippo, part porcupine.
I'm really confused about this big skeleton riding a horse because it reminds me of Radon, who had the really tiny little horse.
Yeah.
Because From Software is pretty like let me just do the quick mental math here. Most of the DLCs for the Souls games have involved time travel, and that's one of the reasons that the people that play Souls games are so excited about them, is because like the story is only like 60% completed, and then you play the DLC, you get like another 20%, and you're like, oh shit, that all makes sense now. Like I get where this came from, as opposed to just like thousands of years ago. But yeah, I mean, like I was watching this, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that are like, look at this, look at this, look at this. I've picked this apart a little bit, but I kind of don't want to like pick it apart too much because I want to just play it.
Yeah, it's a little less enjoyable when you're like overanalyzing it.
Yeah. Even though I also have a feeling that a lot of times FromSoft is pretty good about making trailers where they won't show the really exciting stuff, or the really exciting stuff will just be like, it'll be a second in the trailer, but then turns out that's like a whole thing that takes 2 hours to do. But buried the lead there. June 21st this year,
right before John's birthday.
Yeah, there you go. It also comes with a collector's edition that has a big statue of the what the fuck is this guy's name?
Griffin looking motherfucker.
They have it on here somewhere.
Mesmer.
Yeah,
it's the top right corner of that image.
Mesmer the Impaler or something like that.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, that's one of the starting classes.
Why does he look like I got him a little doll? That's horrifying.
He's a prisoner, and so it's like an Iron Man and Iron Mask type of thing. Mesmer the Impaler.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really detailed statue, too.
Yeah, it's some good statues. So yeah, I mean, this is. I feel like sometimes people are like, they want me to do the trailer react thing. I'm just like,
yeah.
Well, like I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
And I knew I was gonna buy it.
Are we ever that show? Have we ever been like that?
I think sometimes we are when there's something that's like really surprising.
Yeah.
This is not surprising.
Yeah.
I knew this was coming.
Also,
I knew what it was called.
I think people need to understand that either those people are blind reacting when they're seeing that stuff, when they react like that, or they're faking it for you.
It's fake.
Like, I'm sorry, guys, but like people know how to play things up for the internet.
Yeah. So yeah, this is but big news. The Elden Ring subreddit that I go to from time to time was just like fucking having
it up.
Yeah, having a cow.
Yeah, man, it's your time.
Yep.
Springtime for Elden Ring.
It's going to be their largest expansion. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit bigger than the opening area, but it's supposed to be like way denser.
Is there relevance in it being released on the summer equinox?
Maybe. I don't know. I won't know until I play it.
That works. Summer solstice?
There's going to be
winter equinox?
There's going to be a big giant Poison Swamp because Miyazaki loves Poison Swamps. There's like 4 in Elden Ring already, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, the 5th one, you're welcome.
Here you go. Here's another one for you. There was a level. It used to just be, it was like, okay, here's a swamp, and you've got to go through it. Everything in here poisons you. And then it was like, okay, here's a swamp, and when you walk in it, it poisons you in between stuff. And then in Elden Ring, they were like, okay, here's a swamp full of the super poison that kills you very quickly, and it's like an ocean. There's like tiny little islands that you have to run to.
It's an ocean,
to like stand on it and heal and like.
Oh my God.
Like, okay, here we go. Here's the next one. Ah!
Ow, ow, ow.
So there was an interview that he did where he talked about how he's like really kind of examined his love for swamps, and he thinks that it's going to be people are going to understand better this time around about the swamp.
I do love the idea that he's like, I've worked with a therapist for years to sort through my swamp issues.
We also found that those are out of order. That it's going to be $40, which is a little bit much for which you would normally consider to be an expansion.
Yeah.
And not only that, but there's like a $50 digital deluxe pack that has like a soundtrack and a digital art book with it as well, which is like, $10 less than the game cost when it came out brand new.
Yeah, that's a bit pricey dicey.
The thing is that I think that From Software knows what they've got, and they're just like, these fucking nerds will pay $40.
Well, and it's not.
It's not two missions.
It's not like new skins.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it seems like it's like fully game.
It's big.
Yeah. It's large.
It's large and in charge. So, trailer looks great. Can't wait to play it. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
I mean, $40 is a bit much, but I've been on this show before as an advocate saying that like there's a lot of game companies that keep saying like games are too cheap. Like if we had to charge what they're actually worth, we would have to charge $100 for a video game. And it's like, if you charge me $100 for Baldur's Gate 3, I will not be mad about that because that's a fucking huge, well-made game. If you charge me $100 for Skull and Bones, then we have problems no matter what you fucking say.
Hear me out.
Boo.
Would you pay $100
Yes.
for genital jousting?
No. No replay value. Genital jousting is one and done. So, but yeah. There was also, in part of the interview, poor Miyazaki has to be asked over and over again about, like, are you going to remake Bloodborne? Are we ever going to see a Bloodborne remake?
Lord.
And he basically just has got this shit down pat where he's like, just because we went to a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 doesn't mean that we're immediately going to jump on a remake.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to wait for there to be a significant reason to remake it. There's no plans right now, basically, but I think it's great that you guys are so involved and really love the game so much and want to see it elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's basically
his
like
well-rehearsed response, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Miyazaki is like, there's a lot of Japanese companies that you can't trick them into going off of the script that they've been handed, which is like, I think that all of our fans are great. We have no plans at current, but we never can tell. Keep an eye on our Twitter account for more information.
Yeah, never say never.
Yep.
Who can predict what happens in the future? I can't, can you?
Yep. But
if you can.
I think unless Bloodborne remake is under development from a different studio, I think that right now, see, people forget this, and I keep wanting to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
All of the Armored Core games, like going back to Armored Core 2, 1, no, all of them. They released an Armored Core game, and like 2 or 3 years later, they released like not a sequel, but like a remix of that entire game. So there was Armored Core 4, and there was a game called Armored Core 4 Answer that was like a whole different game, but it was built on top of the foundation of Armored Core 4, Armored Core 5, and then they had Armored Core Verdict today. So they're all based on like the number.
Yeah.
So the thing is that like there's a good chance that next year we'll get the announcement that there's going to be an Armored Core 6 spin-off, whatever, whatever
Too
that
Fast,
thing
Too Furious
is.
or something. Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to be working on Bloodborne when Elden Ring is a cash cow and Armored Core is just sitting there waiting for more. So, yeah. All right. Well, ooh, boy, we've gone a little bit over.
Who would have guessed?
Let's roll into this Nintendo. We're going to see how long we can go with Nintendo. Here's the thing, Amanda.
Yeah.
This was not my favorite Nintendo Direct of all time.
It was a partners direct.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good one anyway.
I know. But, sometimes
I was misled intentionally here.
Sometimes they have stuff in the partner showcases that are really interesting.
Yeah.
So, but this was like we're getting later in the game cycle where just a lot of this stuff is, oh, we're releasing this game, but on the Switch. And I'm like, great, I played that 3 years ago when it came out. Or like, here's another farming game from Japan, and I'm Grounded is on the Switch. Is going to be on the Switch.
Finally.
I mean, this is big. This is one of the first. Like, Xbox just announced that they're starting to put their console exclusive games on other consoles.
Yeah.
So this is one of the first times that we're seeing that. And this is a good choice, especially when you consider if it's got local multiplayer where you can play 4 people because it's got the kind of Minecraft like party up kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's just grounded. It looks a little blurry in the trailer, and I can't tell whether that's just like low res, low poly because it's the Switch or what. But
probably. It's not going to be the prettiest on the Switch.
True. So yeah, it's grounded. That's coming out on my birthday. So happy birthday to me, April 16th. The next game is called Ender Magnolia. This was really interesting because I know I played the original. I think it was with Tessa. It was called Ender Lilies, and it was like a side-scrolling kind of Metroidvania game, but you played as like this wispy little girl, and then you would get like these spirit powers that you could use to attack people with. And that seems to be very similar to what's happening here, except that like it's all about like weird mechs and artificial, not mechs per se, but like artificial humans that have like all broken down and become these horrifying monsters, and you're like getting their consciousness brains spirits in order to be able to like do attacks and stuff. And it looks like just kind of like a side-scrolling kind of action game with some good art.
Yeah, those monsters look really cool. Haunting.
It's very interesting because it's got this very like desaturated look to it that makes like certain colors just like pop a lot. So, and the first one at least had a lot of really good art as well. So, yeah, I don't know. It looks good.
Yeah,
available this year.
Hell yeah.
There was this puzzle game called A Ranger, a role puzzling adventure where like instead of moving your character, you're kind of sliding the entire world. Like rows and columns. Yeah. This is fine, I guess. Like,
yeah, I mean the art style was cute. I don't know if I would ever want to play this game.
Yeah, unless I'm misjudging, which I very well could be, like games like this don't tend to hold my attention for very long. They just don't tend to hold my attention all that long. Like I tend to, like, you remember, did we play Baba Is You? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
With the little guy where you change the verbs and stuff?
Yeah.
That was an interesting game, but I was like...
Yeah, I'm never going to, like,
I got about
the
6 hours, and then I get bored, and I go somewhere else. I don't even know if I'd have 6 hours in this, mostly because... just, we're still kind of in this nonstop bangers of a, every week there's like some new bullshit that's like, what?
But like good bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a new trailer for Unicorn Overlord.
Oh, exciting.
I'm very excited for Unicorn Overlord. I'm very excited for Unicorn Overlord.
Of course you are.
Well, this is Vanillaware, the company that's made the single greatest sprite that mankind has ever known, which is the sorceress from Dragon's Dogma. I don't know if you remember the sorceress. Here, allow me to...
yeah, please.
Dragon Crown, not Dragon's Dogma. They are a...
Oh, my God.
They're a 2D...
That looks painful.
They're a 2D company. Like, their big claim to fame is the fact that they make these really, really vibrant 2D sprites.
Yeah.
So instead of, like, going the pixel route, they literally just, like, paint these incredibly detailed...
titties.
Sprites.
Yeah.
Yes, and also the boobages.
The big titties.
Well, there's also...
no waste. Really make up for the... the size difference.
There's also the Amazon is the other character that everybody
Bubba Booty,
which with some like the thunder thighs of
she's still got big titties though, like just so we're clear.
Not as big as that sorceress.
Well, God, there's only so much shoulder strength one can have.
Yep.
Jeez,
so there's a lot going on at Dragon's Crown. There's a lot going on in 13 Sentinels that came out a few years back. This one is a little bit more traditional.
Yeah, a little
RPG.
tame as far as
yes,
visuals.
The boobage is a little bit less.
I mean, we definitely got a witch-looking lady in a bikini and garters there, but
yep,
sure.
They actually put out a demo for this on the Switch. I played it a little bit, which was pretty cool. It's kind of like a real-time tactics game. But yeah, and I think this comes out like in March or something. Like it's
soon,
very soon.
Yeah.
Let's see, Monster Hunter Stories. The first one is getting remade. This is they turned Monster Hunter into a JRPG with little kids that gotta
My coworkers was more hyped about this than anything else.
Yeah, they put out a sequel to that. I was like 2 years ago or something, a year ago.
Yeah, and
so they're basically just remastering the whole first game and then putting it out on the Switch, which is fine.
I mean, it's cute.
I mean, a lot of people like Monster Hunter, so go for it. Sure.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Let's see. People come for is these very just like, and then that happened. That was a fucking thing.
Is this not just that kind of
a direct
though, where it's just bit. Like, yeah, and then this happened.
Speaking of stuff that happened, Epic Mickey is getting rebrushed.
Yeah, my brother is so excited.
Yeah.
He was an Epic Mickey man.
The thing is that the first one was like a Wii U game, right?
Yes.
Or because this is a Warren Spector game, and I like Warren Spector a lot, but I don't like Mickey Mouse all that much. So
yeah. We played that other Disney game, and didn't we play it as Donald the whole time? Did we play it as Mickey?
Which one? Which Disney game?
Remember, it was like I don't remember. It was it was like us. I don't know the details about it. You could either choose between Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, or Donald.
Oh, the Illusion Island.
They kept giving Donald all the shitty the like tools to use.
The Metroidvania. I actually would be more interested in this, I think, because this was a Wii game.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Because you used the remote to brush the color back into the world. I remember that. And that is why I didn't play it, because I was like, I'm not going to shake my arms around to play a Mickey Mouse game.
I have seen you do VR Oculus ass games. I'm not going to shake my arms around.
That's different, because I'm inside of that bitch. Like, I'm in there. Like, it's got my whole brain taken over. Yeah. Like, stand in front of my TV and go, fuck a bunch of that.
Boy.
So I don't know. Maybe this will be when I get into this, actually, because I did like the world got all messed up and now it's Oswald. Oh no, Oswald was the second one. But this one, or maybe it wasn't this one. I don't remember.
Might be. I don't know. It's crazy because my brother loves it, and I messaged him about it, and he was all excited. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I actually remember Epic Mickey at all.
I can't remember. I remember we played the second one with the Kilton animator because he worked on it.
Oh yeah,
Jason and I. But it was so long ago. So long ago. So
I haven't heard that name in years.
Let's see. That's coming out this year.
Yeah.
So there you go. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is getting an expansion called Vengeance. Shin Megami 5 Vengeance. It was very difficult for me to understand that because it was like the big V for 5, and then they would put like another V behind that, and then the word engines.
You were like, engines? Yeah. That's a terrible name.
I was like, Shin Megami 5 Engines? What the fuck?
Start your engines.
This is interesting because this expansion is coming out later. It's like what is that?
June 21st.
June 21st.
I'm going to be busy playing Elden Ring.
But the interesting thing about this was they put this trailer during the Nintendo conference, but I went and looked it up. It's also on that date coming out for the PC, the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox.
Yeah.
And the problem with this game was I kind of liked it, but it ran like ass. It ran like total dick face on the Switch. So I don't know. It also got boring like 30% of the way through, but
that's kind of wow. 30% is like a rough time for it to get boring.
Well, it's also a big JRPG, so it's like 80 hours long.
Yeah.
So it's after like 25.
So it'll really pick up again like 60 hours from them.
Yeah. I don't know. I bought one of those external upscaler boxes to try to make this game sharper on the Switch, and it was like, I don't know. I bet Blake will play it, though. He's been tearing ass through all the Persona, and Persona's a literal spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Is it weird that I didn't know that? Because I didn't give a shit about either one of those games. But I hang around you enough that I feel like I should know this.
I don't make you play Persona games because
I don't
you
give
would
a
hate
shit
them.
about it.
Yeah, you would like.
That's not stopped you from having me play a game before.
You guys don't know the links that I go to try. There was like around 2018 where I was like, man, I got to get better about just like giving people things they're gonna try to enjoy. You don't know the number of games that we've never played because even though I was interested in them, I'm like, yes, but Michael will not be interested in this, or like Amanda will not be interested in this.
Yeah.
So
and he only goes if not Michael, Amanda. If not Amanda, no one else.
I think we're gonna have to pause there. Because we're breaking it up into 3 parts these days.
Oh yeah.
We're about 45 minutes. We went real long on Borderlands. So
yeah, well, you know.
But we've gotten so far into this in like the 10 minutes that we've been talking about it that I have a feeling that
we'll just blow through it real quick.
We're going to blow through it in the next part. So stick around, everybody. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more Nintendo Direct in just a moment.
Here we are.
And we're not done yet. We have more Nintendo Partner Direct Showcase left to go.
Coming right to you.
Yep. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. I think this is like Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2. People really, really, really like these games. I was never the biggest fan of because of the big online.
Yeah. I remember it being kind of hyped back in the day.
It was. I think it's mostly.
Did it always look this bad, or is that just because it's on the Switch?
Those are PS2 games. Like Battlefront 1 was on like the PS2.
Fuck,
so like these are not new games.
Yeah. No, I knew they were old, but you know, in your head when time just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I was like, this came out like 6 months ago?
Actually, I think it looks pretty good for being like a PS2 game.
Yeah,
to be honest.
when you say that, I changed my mind. It looks great.
But yeah, so that's coming out. Good on you. Fucking South Park Snow Day. That's March 14th is when that Battlefront Classic Collection is coming. Oh, I need to put that on the recording schedule because there's kind of a gap in the beginning of March. I think this game looks like absolute ass. I can't. The 3D South Park characters.
Yeah,
the Battle Royale online multiplayer. Like what? Why?
Can they
South
bring
Park?
back the N64 shooting thing? Because that was the only time I played a South Park game.
Oh, I don't know. Didn't they have like a racing game, like a 3D racing game for South Park?
They probably did.
I don't know. All I know is that the only South Park games I've ever really liked were the ones that Ubisoft put out, like the RPGs. Let's see. Speaking of stuff I don't know jack shit about, actually I know a lot about South Park, but speaking of stuff that I'm not interested in, Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream is some kind of online third-person combat thing in the SAO universe. I do not do SAO. It's very popular apparently. It's one of those like, we all got trapped in an MMO, but I've got the one power that seems bad at first and then it makes me powerful or some such nonsense.
Are there big giant monsters in this?
Yeah, it's
so
like,
do you work together or work against each other? Because this trailer started with them fighting each other, and now there's the baddie that they're all working together to fight.
Unclear.
Yes and
no.
maybe.
I mean, this is obviously like a raid, right? You can see the big groups at the bottom. It might be that people are like competing to see who can do it first, or it might be I don't know. I'm not sure. This was just very like sizzle trailer. So
I don't understand.
I also am not a big fan anymore. I don't even like this one watched anime where you've got like rendered characters with like shadows and shit on them, but then your characters are like flat cell shaded anime people. It doesn't match, and it makes my brain go. Ugh.
It feels like out of place.
Yeah.
Makes it pop in a bad way.
Just to make sure we're recording. I was like,
I'm not repeating any of this, Joe.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Gundam Breaker 4 got announced or is coming to the Switch.
So every time I see something with Gundams, and this is just my poo brain, I see McDonald's toys, like Happy Meal toys. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is more that than you may know.
Yeah.
Because the Gundam Breaker series is like, these are the gun claws, and then you're literally like killing other guys and getting their parts and then putting them onto your model that you can then take out and fight other models with. It's... I don't know. Michael knows more about these games than I do because there's a whole subsection of Gundam that is like, there was a whole show or game where it was like, oh, we all go to Gundam High School and everybody's got their own little gunpla thing, but then we put them on this board that lets us like VR go into them and fight each other, and that's how you determine your standing in the social group at this high school. And I'm just like, you fuck off! I don't care.
I don't want any of this.
I want the war where everybody's mad and sad and they're crying all the time. Like, that's the Gundam that I'm into. Not the like, let's go to high school. Anyway, that's coming out.
Yeah.
Some point this year.
Is there a little Mario? Oh, no. It's just the icon for the Nintendo.
This Super Monkey Ball game is coming out. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble.
Banana Rumble.
Never played Super Monkey Ball. Boy, I don't care. It's got some kind of accelerometer, controllers. The one thing that was kind of interesting, this is the first time you're seeing this, right?
Correct.
They did do one very smart thing with Monkey Ball, and they basically made Fall Guys. They made a Monkey Ball Fall Guys mode where you and a bunch of other people can all kind of do a...
That's such a smart thing to do.
Yeah, elimination with the Monkey Ball.
Yo, Fall Guys is still fun.
Hey, do you know about the fact that like this is last year on the Xbox Game Pass, they literally have a thing that is called Stumble Guys? And it is just a Fall Guys ripoff that is fully sanctioned by Microsoft and on Game Pass because they're just like, do you want to play Fall Guys on the Xbox? Well, here it is. It's called Stumble Guys.
I mean,
it's fine.
Isn't that kind of like there was Party Animals and there's Gang Beasts and they're like kind of the same game?
Sort of, but man, just to call it Stumble Guys, that's a little much for me.
Could have been like Trippy Boys.
Just make up your own name that has nothing.
No,
it's not a portmanteau.
You need to know.
Fall Guys. So Monkey Ball is coming out.
Whoopsie Dudes.
Yeah, Whoopsie Dudes.
Whoopsie Dudes. RageSelect brings you Whoopsie Dudes.
RageSelect is rebranding as Whoopsie Dudes. We're no longer called RageSelect. I'm too old for Rage anymore, so we're just called Whoopsie Dudes. Welcome back to Whoopsie Dudes. Kind of want somebody to make me a shirt with the font of Rage like this says Whoopsie Dudes.
Hell yeah.
World of Goo 2. This was announced a little while back. It's a thing. I never was into World of Goo. So like there's a sequel now. Aren't you excited? I'm like, no.
Yeah. I played it way back when.
I don't remember it being like...
I don't remember enjoying it enough to want to do a sequel. But
I feel like people liked it more in the days when people's expectations were much less about what kind of games they wanted to play.
I guess.
I don't know, man.
Now it kind of looks like a cell phone game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like...
Yep. It's all very simplistic graphics and like
which isn't necessarily
physics.
a bad thing. I don't know. Sometimes these kinds of games are like, it looks whatever, but it was on sale for like $3, so I bought it and I played it for 3 years.
With the bridges or whatever, it reminds me there's like a bridge builder game that you can get where you have to like figure out how to build bridges with specific parts, and it's like I see what you're going for, but this ain't me, Chief.
Yeah,
like,
it's not grabbing.
May 23rd, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, is coming out on October 10th.
That's a long name.
Fantasy Life I was like I looked this up. It was like a Wii or a 3DS game or something, or like a DS game.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a cross between like Harvest Moon and like
a little Animal Crossing vibe.
Animal Crossing.
These look like Mii's.
Yeah, they do. They're not, but they do.
Yeah,
but
no, they just like they're me vibing.
But then it also has combat, so you can like change your class up. You can do combat. So apparently, this was like it was a big thing for some people at a certain point in time, and like they're bringing it back with this new one.
This looks like Monster Hunter for babies.
I mean, that's what you're describing is kind of Animal Crossing, right?
Yeah,
like it's Animal Crossing, but also you can hit a dragon with a sword. Yeah, you can
like attack a thing with your little team of cutie patooties.
And they're all like little Maple Story baby guys, like kind of weird.
Dude, it's so weird to see like little cutesy boys just sorting and axing dogs.
Yeah.
Like I think they're like, ooh, the beasts, hounds or whatever, but everything's so cute that it's like, why the fuck are you guys attacking Fido right now?
There's got to be a market for this stuff because they just keep making these.
Yeah.
Like they got to be profitable.
Oh, I can easily see myself getting into something like this.
It's also level 5,
but yeah,
which is like Dark Cloud, and like they've been around for a long time. They make pretty good RPGs.
Yeah.
I am excited about
One Crab's Trash.
Another Crab's Treasure, which is got a release date for April 25th. They were so salty about this because this is the like Souls-like crab game where you're a little hermit crab that gets their shell stolen.
Yeah,
and then you like have to
so I am a naked hermit crab. So is the whole point that you just keep getting bigger and bigger shells?
You put different things on as your shell that like give you different powers.
Yeah,
and then it's like a Souls-like.
Bro, I'm gonna buy this fucking game. This looks cute as shit. Like there's a puppet in it. There's a little shark puppet. I have the little like they're called I forgot what they're called. They're trigger puppets.
Yep.
Yeah, I have one.
That's what stole the show.
Yeah.
At the beginning. What's funny, I'll tell you something about this game is that it's apparently it's kind of challenging because it's like a Souls-like game.
Yeah, but it's cute challenging, not ugly challenging like Dark Souls. I'm just kidding. Don't come at me.
But there's an easy mode, and when you turn on easy mode, the hermit crab just gets a gun, but it's a gun the size of a gun.
Yeah,
and so it's like this huge pistol that the hermit crab can then just point at guys.
Okay,
and
first of all, I'm definitely buying this game. Second of all, I'm definitely gonna start shooting people, and that's on all of you.
Yep, April 25th. I think it still
Is
looks
this like
good.
a brand new game? Like this isn't from something?
It's announced 2 years ago from like an indie studio.
Oh, okay, but it hasn't like it's not like a remake of some old shit or whatever.
Nope,
like
it's
this
just
is
its own
newbie doobie.
Its own thing.
That's fine. I waited a long time for Cuphead. I'll wait a little longer for this.
They were very salty because they were like, the day that we were featured in the Nintendo Direct was the day that From Software released the Souls trailer for the new Souls game.
That is very
and
funny.
we've got our Crab Souls game, and it's just like, well, shit. So, let's see. Penny's Big Breakaway is like some kind of, it's like from one of the team people who made like Sonic Mania, and it looks like it's got a lot of like, it looks like the team had a bunch of ideas of what they wanted to do with Sonic,
and also LSD.
Right.
Like that was a lot of colors.
Had a lot of ideas about what they wanted to do with Sonic when they made Sonic Mania, and Sega was like, no. And they were just like, okay, fine, I'll go make my own fucking Sonic game
with blackjack and hookers and the rainbow and a yo-yo. It's cute.
Yep. It looks like it could be fun. It's also very like throwbacky. Like it all looks like Dreamcast graphics, but like high resolution.
Yeah.
And it's out. They put it out the same day as the
sweet.
Direct. So I don't know. I might take a look at it at some point, depending. I generally games like this, I find them charming, but they never. There's a group of people who played this style of game when they were kids, 3D platforming, Knights and kind of stuff like that. and I'm not one of them, so I don't have any real like fondness. But
yeah, it's
still,
more like fun for to play a little bit, but not like.
Yep. There's a game called Suika Game that's like matching. It's like a match 3 game, except you're matching round fruits together, and when you match 3, they become different fruits that are bigger.
Yeah.
And they put out some kind of like multiplayer DLC. I don't know anything about this game.
These fruits look like the fruits that there's like a YouTube channel that just does these like bobbing fruits to music that babies watch. And that's what this reminds me of.
Could be.
Just like,
I didn't know this was even a whole thing.
Yeah. I actually.
Pepper Grinder got a new DLC. That's the Devolver Digital like driving around a little drill game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested. There's nothing.
Devolver Digital. I never say no.
Yep.
They know. I never say no.
What was actually though really interesting was this game. This is Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. This was like that
is too long of a name.
So this is a jockey card game.
Mm-hmm.
So you play like this modified kind of poker game, and it determines how fast your little weird horse goes.
Yeah.
This game was like, I think this was a DS game that was made by it was made by like a big team. It was made like the team that made like Pokemon or something. It's like the only it's a weird thing. Let's see.
Pokemon developers.
Yeah, so it's like the only thing that Game Freak made that wasn't Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it was made for the 3DS. And
but what if it was Pokemon?
I don't know. But I do know that 2 years ago, I believe, they put it out on Apple Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is finally coming to the Switch. It's good because by all accounts, it's supposed to be like fucking amazing. Like really fun. This real fun little game that you can get. So
that's cool.
And that is out right now. We had a montage with a few things.
Anything stand out to you?
Not really. I mean, let me see if I could just get the rundown. Contra. So Snufkin Valley. I don't know. Whatever. This is Tales of Kenzaru Zhao. We actually knew about this. This is the one they announced the Game Awards from the guy that was in the one movie. The Demon Slayer party game.
That's Slayer amazing.
Mario
Why?
Party? I don't know. Because Demon Slayer's big. Kingdom Come Deliverance is coming to Switch. That's an
wow. I haven't thought about that game in forever.
Old game that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
This new Contra Operation Galuga looks pretty good. It's being made by WayForward. They made like one of the Ninja Turtle games, like a Double Dragon game. They're like good retro guys. Yeah. So Pentiment, which was another Xbox thing that is available now. That's a really fun game, but it's really weird. It's like a murder mystery in an abbey in like the 14th century or something. Yeah. Like, and you play as like a scribe, and you have to talk to all these people, and it's kind of a mystery, but it's also kind of slice of life and like just getting to know people and the history around this time.
Yeah.
And it's all drawn like an illuminated manuscript. Fun stuff. And that was, what would I say? Yeah, I think that was kind of it. Yeah, the last thing that so first they had a montage where they just showed a bunch of rare games that are coming to the Switch expansion pass, like Switch Online. There's a twist to this story that we'll get to once we get done. But Battletoads, Killer Instinct, Snake Rattle and Roll, Blast Corp, and RC Pro-Am all on the and then Blast Core from the N64
Blast Core
expansion pack.
Yeah.
And then that is Endless Ocean.
One of my coworkers was like, he watched the direct, and I was like chit-chatting with him about it, and he's like, the weirdest part is just that they did but we got one more trailer for you, and it was just like an underwater game.
Yeah, it's an underwater exploration game where you're just diving and like looking at animals.
So it's like Subnautica without the fear.
don't know. That's a pretty scary looking shark.
That is a fucked up looking shark.
What I can say though is there was a Wii game that was Luminous Ocean, and this is like a sequel to that. Apparently, it was very well received.
Yeah,
it's possible this sold like a shitload in Japan or something.
Oh yeah.
Or
well,
even over
I mean,
here.
these are like there are like cozy games and shit like that where because I don't know, it doesn't look like there's action. It just looks like you staring,
looking at a fish.
Like, you're just hanging out with fish.
Yeah,
and exploring. Yeah, that's a fucked up shark. That fucking shark.
Something's wrong with that shark, man.
Somebody needs to ask that shark how it's doing.
You get that medicine.
Ask him how his day was because something's going on behind those eyes.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're into fish, right?
Well, like Zen,
yeah.
if you could just like cruise and not do anything, I don't know, man. I might get it. This is cute. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Hang on, there was a dinosaur. Yeah, but it's I don't know. I like every once in a while I need a Zen when I'm high anxiety. Zen games really help where I can just kind of.
I mean, the thing about it is looking at it, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Like it is a very nice looking graphics. So.
Yeah, this is probably one of the better trailers we saw, like better looking trailers we saw from the Nintendo Direct.
May 2nd.
Nice.
And that was the Nintendo Direct. I mean,
yeah.
There's a few things in there that I'm interested in, but like for the most part, part of it is just the fact that it's like, oh, Grounded is on the Switch. And I'm like, I feel good for you guys. I've been playing Grounded since it was in early access like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
I want that crab game. The only two games I want are the crab game and the ocean game.
Right.
So apparently I've got some sort of aquatic theme going.
So there was a twist. So in the play, sometimes, I don't know if you know this, sometimes the Japanese Nintendo Direct and the American Nintendo Direct are two different directs.
Yes.
They'll have slightly different games in them.
Yeah.
So where all that rare garbage was that they put in there, in the Japanese Direct.
I know a little bit about this one.
Mother 3 was in there. And people are like, bring it to the United States. I'm going to tell you guys, it's never coming to the United States. Music rights. It's because of music rights, because they use music. They just like make a parody of a Beatles song that is basically just that Beatles song and then name it like, the Grasshoppers. This is Love, Love You Do. And it's like, you can get away with that in Japan. You cannot get away with that in the United States.
Yeah.
They will never officially release Mother 3 in the United States unless the laws here change, because the people that own the rights to music do not give any shits whether you have fun or want a thing.
Yeah.
And if Nintendo was to go to them and ask them how much it would cost to license, they'd be like $1 billion per song. And it'd be like, okay, well, sorry, North America. Yeah, I know people have been asking for Mother 3 for a long time.
It's so funny. Every time anything happens in Japan, will be like, Mother 3, blah, 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 happening over here. And everyone's like, no! It's so mad.
There's a YouTube channel I really like called Moon Channel. It's the one I was telling you about with the Korean gotcha stuff that they're doing. They have a really good explainer that goes over like why this game will never come out here.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with... that channel has a lot of really interesting insights. They talk a lot about how like they had one that was like, why is Nintendo so litigious? And it seems like part of the answer to why was Nintendo so litigious is because Nintendo watched MGM destroy themselves over the Donkey Kong lawsuit that they filed against Nintendo. They watched one of the biggest, most profitable movie studios in the United States basically kill themselves to try to make them stop making Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And they're now so afraid of IP theft or having to go to court and getting an unfavorable ruling. Like, what if they go to court and it's like, you can't even list Mother 3, in the United States, or somehow through some legal means it turns out you owe us back royalties for 25 years of Mother 3 sales in Japan, and like so go check that out. But Mother 3 is not coming. I mean, come on, man, there's like fan translations, you can just go get them. Like
I don't advocate
if it's not available.
But like, I'll winky face and allow it. I'll turn around and whatever gets downloaded onto your, it's fine. I won't look.
Nintendo, if you give me the ability to buy it, I'll buy it. But if you don't give me the ability to buy it, I'll fucking take it.
Yeah.
Like, I've given Nintendo so much of my money over the years. Like, I'm going to take this one, and I'm not going to put it on my channel. I'm just going to play it by myself.
You're just going to enjoy it. You're not making a profit. You're not doing anything. Then who am I to say that it even happened?
All right, so we got...
I will call the cops on you, though.
We got 25 minutes to get through all these stories.
Hell yeah, let's go!
Let's see if we can do it. So we've had a lot of rumors that the Nintendo Switch 2 was going to be coming out this year. Multiple outlets have now gotten basically inside dirt saying that it's probably going to be early next year and not late this year.
Good. I'm too poor, and I will buy the Switch 2. I need time.
Well,
my wallet hurts, okay? I need time.
I need to get past Christmas to the point where I have disposable income because starting at about October, my bank account just starts ratcheting down every week, and I'm just like,
in a free fall, just
how did it? What? All I bought was ham. So yeah, we've been playing the waiting game on the Switch 2 for a long time.
Yeah,
it's almost certain it's going to happen. The main question is just like if they put it out early next year, that means that they can announce it later on in this year, take pre-orders through the entire holiday season, and come out. And while it would be nice for them to probably put it on the Christmas docket.
Yeah.
I don't know that it matters at this point.
Yeah, I don't think, because I think it used to be very Black Friday. Everyone's coming in to grab but nobody's Black Friday shopping, so there's no point in doing that in the American market.
I just don't think it matters.
When something comes out, it gets bought.
Right.
And it sets you up nicely because you get it early 2025. Then you get some spring releases, and then you get summer releases.
Right. Yeah, it also puts you in a good position because even though it's not completely the thing, there's more room.
Yeah,
you're not competing with the holiday crush. So, and again, I can't emphasize enough. Nobody's going to be like, oh, I was going to buy it at Christmas, but I guess I'll just wait until next Christmas. They're going to be like, no, fucking give it to me. The Switch sales have been fucking off the charts.
Yeah,
for 10 years now.
Nintendo knows what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
Also, this Christmas I want a Steam Deck. So
this is really strange. There was a game that was announced a long time ago for the PS5 called Little Devil Inside, and it was this kind of very cute looking thing where you played as a little monster hunter guy, almost in this very kind of almost tilt shifted little world.
Yeah. Hamsville.
Yeah. Nothing had been seen or heard of from these guys for a long time.
Yeah.
It was already a very contentious project because it was a Kickstarter, but then they got a big influx of money from Sony, and the first time people saw it was as a PS5 exclusive in their first showcase, first PS5 game showcase that they ever put out. And nobody's heard shit from it for about 4 years now. So they just put out a 6-minute trailer and a little apology thing basically on their Kickstarter saying hey, it appears that what might have happened was that they grew their team a lot.
Yeah.
And then that ended up causing internal strife because a lot of the new people they brought on weren't the people that were there for the original idea.
Yeah.
And so they're trimming back and doing this stuff. They also have changed engines twice now.
I was going to say there's two things that happen with success like that, and it's that if it takes too long, engines change, it seems, pretty regularly, and that also often happens. We've seen with when you bring in a bigger crew and then somebody's an expert at something else that makes it better, then you readjust to match their level, and then it slows down because you have to redo it.
I get the impression they switched from Unity to Unreal 4, and I get the impression they did that when all the Unity nonsense was happening.
Yeah.
And then I get the impression that once they were Unreal 4, then they looked at Unreal 5 and they were like, well, just fucking do it. So I don't know if this game's ever going to come out. I mean, we're
dude, it looks interesting enough that I want it to.
It's kind of got this very weird mix of dour British countryside papercraft cutesos,
yeah,
and then kind of
he
bizarre
dressed
monsters.
like a fucking sheep
to
sneak up and shoot a monster.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of into it.
I went and looked at their Kickstarter, and like, boy, people are pissed. But
okay, so here's the thing. No one's ever fucking happy with a Kickstarter.
Sure.
That group, people that kickstart are I pay your bills.
Yep.
I pay you should do everything exact. That's the crowd, man. They're so entitled.
Yep.
Like, if you didn't want a video game to take a long time, you should not be investing in video game development, because that shit takes however long it needs to take.
Damn fucking straight. I
So-
like this part. There's like a whole horror section that reminds me a lot of like Little Nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like kind of creeping around and they're trying to steal something off this giant monster, and there's a lot of really weird dialogue in this section where it's like, I gotta punish the children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it looks really interesting.
Yeah, I'm into it. Dude, I would be so happy to invest in something like this and just wait for something good to come from it.
If you don't want to invest, don't invest.
That's what I like.
Just wait for it to come out and buy it for $60.
It's so fucking weird for people to just like, yeah, I'll give you money, but it better come out in 2 weeks. Otherwise, what the hell?
Right.
Like,
I better, if I'm going to give you $40, but then I own you.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that
no,
shit
man.
is fucking nutty.
Yeah.
And I get like there was a promised timeline. I'm certain there was, but
Sure.
you also have to have a sense of like,
This is video game development, man.
Yeah.
If you want a sack of shit, you'll get it on time.
Yeah.
But like, chances are you're going to have at least 4 years of delays at this point.
like, you have to understand this is an investment, and it's an investment in art, and it's an investment in storytelling, and you have to have some empathy on the fact that these are like people working hard for this shit.
I mean, this is the internet. There is no empathy.
Empathy.
But I don't know. Go watch it. The one thing I will say is people have been saying, like, it definitely needs to be smoothed out. There's no reason for a game with this level of graphics and fidelity to be quite as like hitchy. There's some like frame rate stuff. It needs a little bit of work with the smoothing, but like, obviously this is, I mean, the fact that they just put out like a 6-minute gameplay
is very
trailer
long,
is
Man,
kind of
but
impressive.
The more I see, the more I like, though.
It's also got a real weird kind of like tongue-in-cheek style to it. So, but yeah, I don't know. We finally heard something about Bryce is very salty about this because he saw this at the original PS5 unveiling.
Yeah.
Was like, I want that game, and then it's just like been radio silence for years and years and years.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't understand the frustration, but I'm saying, it's video game development. I don't know what to tell you.
It's very easy. Or my personal life philosophy is just like, look at a thing, put it on the list, and then be like, and then forget about it. And then when it comes back up again, you'll be like, oh, right, I was excited for that. Let me, But in the meantime, I'm going to play Helldivers. I'm going to play Ultros. I'm going to play Like a Dragon Infinite.
Are you telling,
Pal World.
Did you buy the PlayStation 5 exclusively for this game, and because this game never came out, you never played a PlayStation 5 game?
That's a good question. I mean, I hope not.
Yeah, because maybe then you can be kind of salty, but besides that,
yeah.
But also, don't buy a PlayStation 5 for just like one indie game.
Unless that game is Helldivers 2.
In which case, duh.
Helldivers 2 is now, it's so strange. Helldivers 2 is now in the top 5 most played concurrent players on Steam. And like, it's Power World and Helldivers, and the other 3 are like free to play games. So I'm pretty sure it's like Counter-Strike and like League of Legends or something like that. They fucking torched those servers over the weekend. Like, I don't think that the Helldivers... I saw a tweet where the director of Helldivers, like, somebody was like, boo-hoo, I don't have money to buy Helldivers 2. He's like, man, honestly, just don't. Wait for it to go on sale.
Hang on.
We're still trying to fix the servers. Like, please don't feel bad. You'll get a chance to play it at some point. Which is kind of amazing because I like Helldivers, but I'm like, damn, man, you guys are fucking crazy about this game.
There's something about the real popular games right now have been Lethal Company, Helldivers 2, and Power World.
Yep.
And it's like,
but they're so popular.
Yeah,
it's
they're
like
wildly popular.
Ratcheted it up to be an order of magnitude. Where I'm like, Helldivers, though, like, I mean, it's good. It's great. I'm not like talking shit, but like,
I think, and I know Helldivers is a sequel, but I just think people just want fun, unique games right now. I feel like, I mean, it's gonna sound really shitty, and I know we kind of harp on it a lot, but like, I don't think people are super into like the same Call of Duty game over and over again anymore.
Sure.
And they want a fun way of doing the shooting and exploding.
Something different.
But give us some fucking flavor with it. Make it weird. Make it quirky or whatever.
Oh, I saw it was either an article or it was a quote from the guy talking about how like other video games that are co-op PvE games, they're like, yeah, and in those games, they'll make it so that you definitely can't team kill your friends, and they'll make it so you have all the ammo that you need. And we were like, nah.
Yeah.
We're going to do those. We're not going to give you those things, and then you're going to get hilarious fucking stories where you accidentally like get your friend's reinforcement pod just splats you when it hits the ground type of thing.
Yeah. I also think like there was a hot minute where all of the, you want to play with your friends, and it was like 1 versus 4 online games, and there was like nothing else for a little bit. And it's like your choices are Fortnite or 1v4 fucking bullshit game, and it's just like no, let's do something else.
It turns out that at this point, like, Sony is sending engineers over to Helldivers to try to get their server sorted out, because like they talked to this about how like it's like 4 guys that run the servers.
God,
like
those 4 guys are just panicked. They're
like an indie studio. They're not like fucking Activision Blizzard or Ubisoft. They're just they fucking make the Starship Troopers game. Like, what are you talking about? And so they're like training up the Sony guys on like how their servers work in order to try to get like.
Dude, that's cool though.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Sony, are they trying to romance them? Are they trying to get them?
I don't know. I mean,
trying to get up in Helldivers. Sony's like, I'm doing my part.
Well, no. The thing is, I think Sony's a publisher of Helldivers too.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because it
so
was.
They're like, no, you got to sell more, and you can't do it if nobody can play it.
Well, which was interesting because I think it's the first time that Sony has released a game on Steam and PS5 simultaneously day one. Which is very weird.
Lesson learned. They'll never do that again.
Well, it's funny because the thing is that I think that, I think they looked at the numbers on Power World and they were like, oh God, like, who would have thought that this fucking Pokemon ripoff was going to like light the fucking world on fire?
Yeah.
And they put out, well, I don't know, what do we got? We got our Starship Troopers 2 ripoff. Like last week, I was having a story where they're talking about how the PS5 is in its late cycle. There are no like first party exclusive PlayStation titles for this year, for this calendar year. And then it's like, 2 weeks, a month after Power World comes out, they put out Helldivers 2, and it's like just as fucking popular.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of games. I like Helldivers.
I think there's an explicit hunger from people that are really looking for
something different.
And I think that's true for movies. I think that's true for television shows. And I think that's true for video games right now. And I think the tides, they are changing. Yeah. Because like it just feels like people are like, oh, like a big movie with a bunch of celebrities and it looks like nobody actually gave a fuck about it. Cool. I'm not going to watch it. I'll wait until it's streaming, maybe.
Yeah. There was some ominous remarks that were given speaking of PlayStation, some ominous remarks that were given from Sony chairman Hikaroki Totoki about Bungie.
Yeah.
Because Sony acquired Bungie for Destiny, and like the last Destiny 2 expansion did like 45% less business than they thought they were going to.
Yeah.
And then they pushed back the expansion. It was supposed to come out in February to like June.
And they ain't happy.
They are not happy. Well, first off, if they don't hit their target goals in the next like 2 quarters, Sony basically gets to start taking over their board of directors. Like, I learned all this in a contract thing that I read where it was like they signed this contract where as long as they keep their profits up, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if your profits dip below this amount, then like Sony gets to start like taking over your board of directors 1 seat at a time, basically.
They're like looking at that line and just like slowly crawling to it, like desperately.
Well, who cares? The board of directors got theirs. They got the fucking $7 billion like purchase.
Yeah.
They laid off like several hundred people, including like a whole bunch of people that the fans really were like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He does all the music. I love that guy. He does the art for my favorite gun.
So what you're saying is fuck him?
Well, no, I think fuck him because Destiny is boring, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not into any Bungie stuff, but
they kind of came out and they basically talked about how they're like, we'd love to see a lot more transparency from Bungie about like how they make their decisions, and like, if I were them, I would definitely examine our business. A lot of these like very veiled. It was basically the Japanese version of like, get your shit together, but in the nicest way possible. Yeah. But also knowing the back half of that contract, it was like,
they just wanted to remind them that it existed.
How is it that like the last Halo game, the last 2 or 3 Halo games, if we're being honest, were flops, and Bungie, who spun off the only successful live service thing, that is now also failing. It's almost like people don't want to just play the exact same pandering bullshit video game over and over again, and they'd rather go play Helldivers 2 than fucking Destiny, the final shape, fart cloud, bad guy, googly eyes.
Yep.
The bad guy in the
it's also,
Destiny 2 is a fart cloud with googly eyes, and like almost specifically.
That's amazing. It's also very funny that there's a Helldivers 2 ad in this article because they're like, don't want to hear about this game?
I don't know who his name is. I was going to show you.
If you put fart cloud, I will
Destiny 2 bad guys.
He's a bad guy.
Bad guy cloud head. He's so stupid looking. This is what he looks like. He's such a dumbass looking big fart cloud.
That looks like
head.
it's AI generated.
Well, and then this is what all the characters in the last expansion looked like. They were supposed to be like these weird 80s throwback Silverhawk looking guys, and they just look fucking stupid. Yeah. They look fucking idiotic. And you're just like, oh, we didn't sell any of that because we appeal to 80s nostalgia, and they live on like a neon-soaked planet from the 80s, and it's like, oh, the fart cloud guy is bringing his triangles to take over the Silverhawks.
Not the triangles.
And I'm like, that sounds so stupid.
Yeah. Oh, my God. You weren't kidding about the googly eyes.
Yeah, he's got the big old googly eyes.
Do they make little rattling noises if he moves his head too fast?
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Yeah, not into it.
I wasn't into it before, but I'm definitely not into it now.
See, I'm more mad at it now.
Okay. There's a game called Stormgate that's like a spiritual successor to StarCraft 2. That was I believe it was a crowdfunded thing, and then it got some investment, and it was really popular during the latest Steam thing. They're now like offering like public shares of their company.
Ooh.
Like for $500 you can like reserve the ability to buy like a share in the actual company. It's like a non-voting, they're called preferred shares, so they're shares but they're not voting shares, so you can't like control stuff. Very strange.
Then what's the fucking point?
Well, the point is that they need more money because everybody needs more money right now, and they're trying to get over the finish line, and they've got a bunch of like really dedicated programmers, but they don't really have a lot of money for like PR and like branding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're looking to do this to be like, we have the development covered, but we need another chunk of money to put ads up in places and get a PR team on this game. It is weird though, because I've never seen a video game company just publicly offer, like, it's not even like a weird thing. It's just like, go to our website, and you can reserve. You didn't even give us $500. You just reserve the right to then buy this stuff at a later date.
Yeah, and
it's like, that's weird. I don't know if that would work.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think this game looks like it's at all interesting to me, but because it's like, oh, what if StarCraft 2 multiplayer was like a thing? I'm like, no, I played the single player, you guys. So it's weird. It's like Space Marines versus demons, so it's kind of a strange mashup.
I mean, Warhammer is a little, Doom is a little Space Marine versus demons.
It's true. Anyway,
have you ever been tempted by something like that? Have you ever been like, oh, maybe I should get a share of? You know what I mean?
You assume I have $500 to spend on some bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I actually was, I was thinking about it today of like, maybe I go buy one share, and then maybe like, it goes up by 200%, and I could walk away with like $1,500 and just buy a computer or something.
You know what I mean?
But like, I don't think I've got, the problem is they always tell you like, don't invest money that you can't lose. And I think that's my problem, is that it's like, I can't really just evaporate $500. Like, I could use $500 for something that was going to be useful. Like, if I was to buy a video card for $500 that was better than my current one, I could like use that to make this channel better.
Right.
But like, if I spent $500 and it just like
Just
flew away, I'd be like, well, shit, I could have bought a lot of bowls of ramen for fucking $500 and they're all not in my belly now. So shit. Bad news for Zaum Studios, the people that made Disco Elysium. This is a huge fucking thing. Everybody should go watch the People Make Games documentary. This is a weird story about people started as a communist collective and then it turned into a game company and then this guy came in and hostily took it over and blah, 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 blah. They laid off a bunch of people, including the last person who had any writing credit on the original Disco Elysium. They also canceled a Disco Elysium expansion they were working on, as well as one other thing that team was working on. So the writer was interviewed in a few places. He's like, yeah, you're not going to get any more Disco Elysium. Like, it was already going to be a shell of its former self, and now like I was the last one, and even I'm not there anymore. So
rough.
Yep. I still think Disco Elysium is amazing, but I kind of love the idea that it's a
one and done.
Yeah, it's a fucking black swan, right? Like you're never going to see the likes of that again. It was this thing that came and just tore everything up with like the perfect creativity and excitement and everything at just the right time, and you'll never see it again.
And then capitalism ruined everything.
That's kind of the point of the game too.
Then that makes even more sense, doesn't it?
That's the game where they basically let you like kind of tell the game what your politics are. And
you get punished accordingly.
Well, no, and the decisions that I made in the game pointed to me being a filthy centrist, kind of like I am in real life. And then the game like really made fun of me at every opportunity for being a dumb, wishy-washy centrist. And I was like, hey, fuck you, video game.
Like, ow, my feelings.
All right. Ooh, we're almost out of time. Actually, you know what? We can probably push a little bit of this out into the next segment. There's been some... This is a weird story. Okay, CD Projekt Red is working on The Witcher 4, the sequel to Cyberpunk 2077, as well as an unnamed, nobody knows what it is game.
It's a mystery.
Some people on Twitter were making a supposition that it was going to be an eldritch horror game set in feudal Japan.
Why? Like,
I don't know.
What made them think that?
I don't know. But the head developer on that game came on Twitter was like, I will tell you this. It is not a cosmic horror game set in feudal Japan.
Somebody threw a dart against the wall with different places and then another dart for like concepts or genres, and then just assumed that. So one down.
Yep.
We got another comedy. We got to keep going.
Infinity.
We got to keep asking.
What if it's a first-person shooter set in the Wild West?
Yeah. This is actually it's a racing game a la Mario Kart, but it's set in some horrible Canada.
Canadian horror
Canada.
game.
Canada in the 80s.
So we might not know what the next CDPR game is, but we do know what Respawn Entertainment's next Star Wars game is going to be.
Oh.
And it's apparently going to be a first-person shooter based on kind of related to The Mandalorian, where you're going to play as a Boba Fett with the jetpack, so you're going to get to go all over the place.
You literally said Mandalorian, and then but you'll play as a Boba Fett.
You play as a Boba Fett.
Not as a Mandalorian.
I don't give a shit anymore. I don't give a shit about Star Wars.
I'm just saying, but you already said the word.
Yeah, I know all the words, and that's why I put them in the wrong order to piss off the nerds listening.
Wow, what the fuck? Here I am, trying to make you not sound like an idiot.
Yeah. I do that shit on purpose. I know what words are. Smart man. Not much more to it than that, but I will say that as the company that made Titanfall 2, which is amazing, and has like parkour, wall running, jetpacks, action, first-person shooter, I know Respawn can do that shit. I know they can do it really good. Also because they used to make all the good Call of Duty games back in the old days. So the old Call of Duty guys and the Titanfall 2 guys are going to make a first-person shooter. That's a good combination,
yeah.
I'll play it.
First-person Star Wars shooter? Hell yeah.
Yep.
Do you think, I only watched the first season of The Mandalorian, but it's such a Western. Do you think that if they made a Mandalorian video game, not The Mandalorian video game, that it would be a little bit like Red Dead Redemption in space?
Maybe. Wasn't Jin, whatever his name is, Din Djarin.
I'm so scared about what's happening right now.
Flurgle. What was the Mandalorian's name? His name was like.
Oh, I don't remember it.
Yeah, it was something like Jin Jardin, like I was just having a stroke.
You just kept saying it. I was just like, if I sit here long enough, we can all figure it out together.
Wasn't he like a weirdo because he was a bounty hunter?
Yes, and Red Dead Redemption is about the end of the
Din Djarin.
Yeah. But then Red Dead Redemption is like the ending of an era. Why would the Mandalorian not be like he is one of the last Mandalorian zealots or like
I don't know.
Dedicated.
I mean,
why wouldn't it be the end of the era of Mandalorians?
Well, it's also supposed to take place between episode 3 and 4. So
well, I don't mean this game. I just mean a game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pitching.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to get out of here.
All right, fine. Get out of here then, because we gotta take a break, and then I guess we'll come back, and maybe a man will be here, maybe he won't. We'll have to find out. We'll see you in a minute. And we're back. And one of these days, man, I'm going to start recording stuff where we're in between segments.
You better not. We'll all get fired.
A shadow YouTube channel that nobody knows about. We'll just make it all that like weird robot voice stuff where you're just like. Anyway, we didn't get through all the news, but we almost got there. So let's finish up with a very bizarre story. There's a Call of Duty League team that is suing Activision for $680 million.
Why?
Because I don't really know how to feel about this, but they're basically saying like Call of Duty, like Activision and Call of Duty has created a monopoly on League, on like official online, like official tournament play.
Yeah.
So before Overwatch League, which was I think in like 2016 or something like that, it used to just be that you'd have like all these different matches, and they would all kind of like have qualifiers, and they would get together, and then they would establish some kind of thing. Once Activision took over, it was like none of that shit's on the table anymore. And apparently, if you want, there's 12 teams only in the entire Call of Duty League, and like the franchise fees are like $22 million to become a team in Call of Duty like leagues. So by the one hand, I'm like, yeah, that all sounds pretty crappy, but on the other hand, like they make that game. So, like, I don't know
you make the game, you set the rules kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, you can always do informal, but then you're not recognized. I mean, I don't know if it's like a Nintendo thing where they'll shut you down if you're not an officially, like, licensed team or something, but I don't know. Like, it's just a kind of a...
Like, it can be both.
Yeah.
Like, it
can be craptacular, but also, like, totally within their... rights.
Yeah, like they can set their own rules for their own game, but at the same time, maybe they shouldn't set such shit-ass rules.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Yep. I don't know. This would be an interesting one. Sometimes these things are just like stunt suits, and they don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it won't.
That'd be interesting.
I'm not really a big into like league official tournament kind of stuff anyway, so I just thought it was kind of interesting. Speaking of interesting, there's a real weird thing that happened last week. So back in the old days, there was a game called Gigantic. This was a Gearbox game that was put out that was like a third-person action MOBA game.
Okay.
Where you had two teams that would fight each other. And then one of the big things was that there were these really big, like, kind of kaiju-sized monsters. And so you were trying to, like, kind of push your monster across the map. And if anything got close to it, it would hurt it. But then you could kind of fight back against the other person's thing. It started out its life as, like, a free-to-play thing with, you know, heroes that were purchased or whatever.
Yeah.
And it shut down after not that long. But this was like several years ago, and they're now re-releasing it as just like a full paid product, no microtransactions, with crossplay and all basically the other stuff, and then a few other things kind of added in, and people can go out and they can play it if they want. So
nice. I mean,
it's kind of interesting because it was always a very... what it made me wonder was, like, oh, if they're going to do this, like, are we going to see the return of Battleborn?
Oh, God.
Because now that Overwatch sucks assholes, they can just be like, hey, man, we had your Overwatch before Overwatch, and ours doesn't suck assholes. Maybe you want to play Battleborn.
Yeah.
But...
it is like Overwatch sucking did leave quite a like space to be filled.
Sure. by Helldivers. I don't know. It's really strange though, because I remember playing this for RageSelect when it came out, and it was like it was okay.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, cutie patootie enough.
Yeah, very bright, very colorful, good character design. Let's see. Speaking of online stuff, guess who's in Fortnite now?
Is it us?
It is not us.
I can't tell because we're still watching the gigantic trailer.
What the hell? What did I search for?
I
just searched for Fortnite. Anyway, it's Lady Gaga.
Yay!
Which I'm kind of surprised that Lady Gaga hasn't been in Fortnite before.
Yeah.
I don't like her outfit. It's very like she looks like a Decepticon or something. Like she is
a Decepticon.
This very of all the weird shit that Lady Gaga has worn. It's
what do you
just
want her in the meat dress?
Yes, I totally want the meat dress. Well, I usually associate Lady Gaga with having something on her head as well, some kind of weird thing over her face or something. She's got this weird like Serpentor.
I'm more upset that she has a keytar in that concert.
Oh well, they're adding keytars into the basically the rock band version of Fortnite. But yeah, so I don't know. Again, kind of surprised it's taken this long, given the like what the Ariana Grande and The Weeknd and a bunch of other people have already been in there.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Let's see. We got some more trailers. Spider-Man 2 is putting in some strange skins. Some new, like a new skin pack. So this is a whole story on their YouTube channel about this this partnership with this organization called Gameheads that looks for like underrepresented kids that want to be game developers and like helps them like get a leg up on like learning game dev stuff.
Cool.
And so Insomniac like brought them in and let them, they kind of like let them tour the place and talk to them about Spider-Man. And one of the things that they did was they made they let them create 2 skins, and they're going to be selling them in a $10 pack for Spider-Man 2.
Does the profits go to that?
Yes, up to, like they said, up to $1 million, like in the profits, like up to $1 million then goes to this Gameheads group. Also, it was noted in the fine print that eventually the skins are going to be free, but that it's more just like if you want to support a cause. The skins...
oh my god! Oh no!
Very like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like that, like early '90s, late '80s.
Have you ever seen that thing where it's like a bright primary color that's got like a triangle and like a little like zigzag?
Yeah,
and some. That white cup that has the purple splotch and the blue thing on it. It's kind of like that. Is that
in spider form? Wow.
Well, the thing is that they're not even.
Can we not put Miles in the fucking sideways visor and like, oh my god.
And it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know if they gave them just these basic track suits to then just like do whatever you want
on or something.
Them,
yeah,
because they're definitely not like actual superhero costumes. They're just like they're wearing superhero costumes underneath these track suits from 1984. Like,
why?
It's very.
Was this the design? I guess if you have like 12 people working on one thing, because it seemed like a big group of people.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe this is what they could come up with. If this is what the kids are into, like Solo Cups and Saved by the Bell. Like,
I mean, it's got that like 90s nostalgia, which is fine, but it's just not.
This is some late 80s nostalgia, if you ask me.
Yeah,
but,
the 90s didn't come until 1994, so early 90s is the 80s.
It's just very weird looking. They're just very strange looking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. That is season 1 Fresh Prince of Bel-Air outfit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Season 3 Saved by the Bell outfit.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a trailer. This is for Hitman.
Oh, no.
Turn that a little towards your face. The Undying is returning, which is Sean Bean.
Yeah.
They had a little new intro for it where they talked about how like this target's been killed hundreds of times by ICA agents.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's just the Undying mission, but I thought I would just put it out there because I fucking love Hitman. Like, just bring Sean Bean back and let you shoot him in Miami.
Always exciting.
Yeah.
Do love to kill Sean Bean
for a limited time. March 22nd,
Does
April
he
21st.
love this?
Sean Bean?
Yeah. Is this like
probably.
something I just can't tell.
They never brought back Gary Busey. Like, Gary Busey was one of the elusive targets.
Yeah. I feel like he's harder to...
Or maybe they did, and I just never... I think that I never liked the elusive targets. It was just like, oh, you get one shot, and it was like, fuck that.
I need multiple shots at Gary Busey.
Yeah. Yeah. But this was part of the IGN FanFest 2024, and there were a couple of interesting trailers. One of them was like a behind-the-scenes 7-minute thing for Kimuri. Kimuri is the game that Akumi Nakamura is making with her studio Unseen.
Yeah.
And we saw a trailer for it, like, I think at the Game Awards, where it was like a very bombastic, kind of like Spider-Verse almost.
Yeah.
And so they actually talk a little bit more about what the game is, and you're like, you know, it's like you can play by yourself, you can play with other people. It's like an open world game where you're kind of hunting yokai in a very vertical kind of urban landscape, and you get like powers. You can do a little thing where you, like, part of the trailer was them putting your fingers in like a framing somebody thing. Apparently in the game you can use that to like find them, but then if you use that you'll attract like
like they see
attention
you.
to yourself. And they talk a lot about some kind of interesting stuff with like using smoke to indicate where they are and being able to like kind of customize your character with these different yokai powers. Whole thing looks really cool. Like, I'd like to see more of what it actually plays like, and they're like, we want to show you what it plays like, we're just not quite
not yet
there yet.
Yeah, it was this what we're watching is a lot of like concept art and visuals,
kind of early concept stuff,
which is cool. It looks nice, but you know, I want to see it. I want to see it in action, baby.
They show a little bit, but it's like kind of in
real bursts, those short little...
in like real wireframe unfinished cities and stuff. But the animations all look really nice. Like, they're very like kind of exaggerated, which is cool. They actually talk in this. It's pretty funny about like, we don't like to use mocap. We try to hand animate everything.
They just want it to look as not human as possible.
Because we want it to look very exaggerated as opposed to like something that somebody could actually do. But they also show some kind of like traversal stuff with being able to kind of go up and up on top of stuff, and they kind of emphasize a lot of the verticality. It's really cool. So I don't know, 7 minutes worth your time. You can go check it out.
Hell yeah.
I got a couple of other things here from this IGN FanFest. Most of it's horror games.
Nice. I'm in.
This is one, I don't know if this is a thing, but this one is called Janet DeMornay is a Slumlord, parentheses, and a Witch. And it's about like a person renting a room. Like, it's billed as an escape room, and what you're not getting when you watch this trailer is like there's this voiceover of this Janet DeMornay person being like, I tried to come by the other day, but you wouldn't let me in. And that's a real shame, because it's like, it's my house that you're renting, and you're definitely going to be letting me in next time, right? And this very kind of weird third person walking around in your underwear looking at creepy shit.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of this, of like, I think that horror, like, it's either like a new Resident Evil game or it's something I've never heard of before, and I'm like, ooh, what's that? Like,
is there like a little shadow person trailing you? Is that what
see
I'm
a
seeing?
lot of like kind of like silhouettes that kind of come and go and,
like
like
stand
disappear
in the hallway and then disappear. And then close a door.
It's very lo-fi.
It's like spooky Stanley Parable or something.
They also did a really good job with the name.
That is top tier naming, because I'm more interested because of that than anything else that I saw. Let's
see. They also had one for this game called Dark Web Streamer that looks a lot like Hypnospace Outlaw if it were like, what was that horrible movie? Like Fear.com or whatever.
Oh my God.
It's like a lot of like really like loud noises and weird imagery, and there's definitely like a Jeff the Killer face in there somewhere.
I wish we'd all get over the Jeff the Killer face. I'm watching a head slowly lean out of a doorway.
Yep. a lot of like digital distortion, and it's supposed to be like streaming on the dark web. Like it says, you're like, you will stream, we will watch, like you will lose your soul.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I like a lot of times I like it when games do the fake UI, like you're on your computer, but you're playing something that looks like a fake computer screen.
I mean, that worked for us. It freaked us out a little bit with the Stories Untold.
Oh yeah, the first one of those.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure if that live action part was actually part of this game,
or just part of a trailer,
or it was just part of the trailer.
I don't know. A lot of games, especially horror games lately, like to do the thing where all of a sudden you're like looking at the computer and then you take a step back from the computer.
Yeah. To
like entrench you a little bit, like you're there. Mm-hmm. So this might be doing that.
Possibly. I don't know.
It does give off like early 2000 horror movie vibes, though.
I love it. We got another trailer for Harold Halibut. I'm like super obsessed with Harold Halibut.
Yeah.
Harold Halibut is an adventure game where you're like a guy that's under the ocean. The big thing here is that every one of these characters was a hand-built puppet, like a stop animation puppet.
Okay, good, because I was like, they look real.
Yes.
Not like real like a person, but like they look like if they did stop animation.
So what they did was everything, even the environments, they're all built for real.
Yeah.
And then they 3D scanned all of them in and then animated them using like tech. So they move really smoothly.
Amazing.
And it's like, it's so striking to look at, right? Like it looks really interesting because it looks real.
It looks like you could like touch it.
Yeah.
And yet
it's very striking, and what's actually kind of interesting is it's like an adventure game where you're on a spaceship that crashed into a water planet.
Yeah.
And your character is like, everybody's kind of looking for like a dry place to like live as opposed to on this ship underwater.
Yeah.
And I definitely know they show it a little bit in here. At some point you like meet an alien, like this alien.
Oh yeah.
That's like an underwater alien species, and then but there's also like
just wants to hang out.
A dark corporation called like Flowtech or something that like controls everything.
Oh, that's funny.
All of it looks very unique. Like I've never seen anything that looks like it. The story is not something that I feel like I've known before. And every time I look at it, it's very like mesmerizing to look at.
I would watch a television series just off of the premise and the look of it alone.
I think that they should. I mean, depending on how the game does, like they should definitely get in contact with like A24 or something and be like, can we get the budget to just make a movie with this tech?
Because it's awesome.
Yeah. Because what's so weird about it is that it's like, it looks like stop animation, but no human being could ever that smoothly animate stop animation. And so it's like, it looks like the best stop animation you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. It's weird. It looks like they came to life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very strange and very cool. And I hope that there's another game that I looked at. I can't remember what it's called, where all of the characters are, they used a machine to sew every frame of animation and then scanned it.
Yeah.
I love when people do weird mixed media shit like this.
Yeah, it's great.
It can come out with some really interesting stuff. We got a real quick trailer for Flintlock, which is a game that I've been looking forward to. Where you play as like this kind of lady with this little cat dog magic guy in this. It's like the whole point, it's kind of like a God of War-ish type game, like a third-person action game, but then the hook on it is like, we invented gunpowder, and so we're going to use it to kill all the gods.
Yeah.
We've seen this a few times before, and so
I feel like I remember a little bit of this.
But it looks pretty good. The only thing I'm not the biggest fan of is during this, there's some narration that's happening, and I can't quite tell where it's coming from, and I really hope it's not the dog. Like that that it's not like, because it's like this very deep voice, just like kind of talking back and forth to the character. It also, though, when I heard that deep voice bantering with the character, I'm like, oh, is this like the good Forspoken? Is this like Forspoken, but not the crappy Forspoken? Anyway.
I hope it's the dog.
It might be
the dog.
It might be. They did show kind of a different outfit. I'd never seen anything but kind of the default outfit.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. That's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I don't know. It looks very like dynamic. So that's what I want to try. Let's see. Team 7 or Tiny Build put out this game, a trailer for this game called Kingmakers, which is one of those big scale medieval fantasy games. But it's got a really interesting premise because apparently your character you can build like your kingdom up and you can raise an army, but then your character, the one that you're playing as, is answering that age-old question of like, how rich would you be in the medieval times if you had like an AK-47?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So it literally starts with a guy coming in with a fucking pickup truck and just running through.
Is this not just Army of Darkness?
Sort of, yeah. Except the fact that like this character has like fully automatic guns that apparently you can get more ammo for, and like grenade launchers and sniper rifles.
Oh my god!
And there's a lot of just like mowing down medieval knights.
What a weird concept.
Like throwing grenades.
Yeah.
But it's not. See, I thought that too, Amanda, and I was like, what a weird concept. What if I went back in time and had a sniper rifle? But then at the very end of this trailer,
it does end up being Army of Darkness.
something very strange happens where
What the fuck?
the main character goes through like a time portal and then is like in the future.
And he's like, oh, it's not fun anymore.
And so I like the idea of like you have to travel back and forth between different time periods.
Oh my god, are you gonna bring like a laser gun to medieval times at some point?
I don't know. I kind of want to do that.
Steal that weird kitty cat spaceship or whatever.
Oh, I just realized it was a big cat face. Yeah. So yeah, whatever this is, it looks like very weird, and I want to play.
Yeah,
it.
it's just weird enough to draw me in.
Yeah. And I love
such a like poster.
The logo
so
for
good.
it is a guy on a horseback, like on a night horse, with just like a machine gun shooting a knight.
That's good.
Like dressed in like SWAT armor. So
that's amazing.
Yep, looks pretty good. I'll tell you what doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six: Small SMOL.
Small boy.
This is a Netflix game, so it's on like phones and stuff.
It looks like papercrafty,
and it's like. I have a bias that I cannot get over, which is that it's one of them games where it's a isometric 3D game, and then all the characters are like 2D pieces of paper that go back and forth.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate that. I think it's lazy and shit, and it looks like dick garbage to me. It's like fucking Richard trash. Like, and also Rainbow Six, I don't like it, and this looks like it. It doesn't look fun. It doesn't look like anything like I could rather play Turnip Boy Robs a Bank than this. Like, it's a phone game. It's on Netflix. You can buy it on the App Store. And like, this is what you're doing, Ubisoft? This is what you're doing with your franchises?
I mean, it looks like maybe they made it in a weekend.
Well, there is that. Also, I don't like the idea of like Rainbow Six is like a counter-terrorist thing, and then the small.
You can't be
like,
a little cute chibi countering terrorist. Everyone has to do their part. What if they did Helldivers 2 Small?
You know, they made a Gears of War, like Funko Pop Gears of War for phones, and I was like, no thank you. I don't need your fucking cutesy fartsy bullshit. Like,
sometimes it's funny.
Go make your cutesy fartsy. Yeah, if it was a knight with a machine gun that looked like a Funko Pop, maybe. But like, this kid was like dick. Like, ass. Dick ass.
Concerning.
Speaking of games that are weird.
Pokemon?
So Temtem is a Pokemon game that's on the PC. It was one of the we made an off-brand Pokemon game. It's just that came out years ago.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the name Temtem.
So they're putting out a new game called Temtem Swarm. Swarm. Swerve. Small. Temtem Swarm. And it's like it's an auto battler like Vampire Survivors.
Oh God.
Which is
that
I
means
think
you
the new
and
thing.
John are going to be playing it in 24/7.
No, I'm playing the Deep Rock Galactic Vampire Survivors game at the moment. So, but you know, I think it's interesting that it's taken a couple of years, but now we're seeing a bunch of other developers really jump on the Vampire Survivors alike train.
Yeah,
I know there were a few others, but like we're starting to see like bigger indie titles
within more frequency. Of it. Yeah,
and this one apparently you have like a little team. I don't know. I mean, the idea of like a Pokemon Vampire Survivors is a pretty good,
that's a pretty good concept.
pretty good one. So I mean, they've got all the character designs and shit already.
So many Pokemon games that aren't Pokemon games coming out.
Yeah.
What the fuck, guys?
They're getting ready to have a Pokemon Direct like next week or something. But that's going to be like news from the Pokemon Company. And it's like, we've updated the toothbrush thing. And are you using the Snorlax Sleep app? And it's like, here's a third expansion for Violet and
that's the thing.
Grape or whatever
I want
it's called.
A new game. I want them to be like, Pal World fucking sucks. We're going to do our version of it, which is not as good.
Yeah.
But I'd be fine with it.
I would just settle for, hey, we updated Pokemon Scarlet so that it doesn't run like complete and total butthole.
You're never going to get that from them.
Oh, we're putting it out on the PC. Hilarious, I know. Rise of the Ronin got a little world vignette.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of like Team Ninja Assassin's Creed samurai game.
Team Ninja of House of Ninja?
No. Team Ninja of Ninja Gaiden and DOA beach volleyball.
Of course. Of course.
And
who could forget?
They're kind of like what was the PlayStation game called? Ghost of Tsushima kind of style game.
Is that why Ghost of Tsushima was trending the other day on Twitter?
I don't know.
Maybe yesterday.
I ain't heard shit about it. All I know is this game kind of looks like, I like what's happening in it, but the graphical fidelity, and I'm usually not one of those guys, it just looks really super duper generic.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in this trailer, in order to try to like make it look better, they've just cranked up the contrast really high. That just means that like half the frame is all washed out in black and I can't see like what's going on. I don't know, man. Like it, like I'm not against this as an idea. It's just that like the general quality of what I want my games to look like is higher now than this. So
it does look a little
it's like an old
older.
PS4 game or something,
looks
right?
A little
like
older for sure.
They're all little kitty.
Sorry, she's a cat.
A lot of kitty cats.
Yeah,
you can pick them to kitty cats.
That cat straight clipped through that man.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
All those cats are clipping through that man.
What are you gonna do?
Ow, cat, ow, went right through me.
I don't know. I'm really curious about this one. It could end up being really fun, but I don't know. We will see. You and I played that White Day game, right? Like a classroom something. It was like an old...
Yes, that was like spooky.
Yeah. It turns out there was a sequel that came out like in 2023, I think, for PC that is universally reviled, apparently.
Oh.
But they're putting out another one, White Day 2, The Flower That Tells Lies, complete edition. So it had a bunch of DLCs that they're adding into it. And they're putting it out on consoles. I don't know. I watched this trailer and there was a lot of people kind of running around and yelling, but I didn't see a lot of like the spookums or
like they seem spooky scared, but I am not spooky scared.
Yeah, I mean maybe like one or two, but I don't know
if that.
There's like Scissor Lady at the very end, I guess.
She had like she wore too much makeup. Oh.
Coming sometime this year. Who knows?
Eh.
Okay. How about Withering Rooms? I'd never heard of this before, and I saw a trailer for it. So it's like a 3D...
What the fuck?
It's like a 2D horror action game where you're playing as like this little Alice-looking motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. God, there's...
And you're kind of fighting stuff in a variety of different ways. Like you have a sword and a shield. At one point,
I don't think I like this, but I do like the concept of the monsters.
What I find really strange about it is that there's a lot of different monsters. And like there's one of them that's just like, oh, that's just like the Ring girl.
Yeah.
And like...
But like she just opened a dresser and it was like a man of bacon.
Oh, it was a bloody mummy.
Yeah.
But then like...
It just looked like...
Did you see there's like a Fatal Frame like thing where she's got like a camera.
Oh, yeah. It was like a spooky night and like that guy had that...
It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Like it doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah. I do hate the concept of another like Alice in Wonderland looking chick though.
Yeah. Well, she gets to put on a lot of different outfits, so It's just your basic thing. I don't know. It's coming out April 2nd. It's also a roguelike, so they're resetting like the world.
Oh, that's kind of fun. I don't know. It didn't look fun, but I like the monsters. So it could also easily entice me if they go, we got the license for this spooky monster, and then all of a sudden these all become, like all of a sudden you're playing and because it's a roguelike, you're against a Cenobite, and then the next next room you go to, you're against like a Deadite from Evil Dead and a zombie from...
That was like what that Suda51 and Swery team-up game that they're making, the hotel thing. That sounds like that, where they have the off-brand monsters with like the Xenomorph and the Jason football player guy.
But like with licensed characters.
Yeah. There's a Turbo Kid game. Did you ever watch Turbo Kid?
I did.
I never watched Turbo Kid.
It was okay. It's weird that anyone even thinks about it beyond the watching it. It was like a weird smash hit for Netflix.
Yeah. It's this is like a Metroidvania, but based on the Turbo Kid franchise.
I mean, honestly, that makes sense.
I've never seen Turbo Kid, but I thought it looked like a kind of an interesting Metroidvania.
Tessa did a really dope cosplay of it. They just posted it like it was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming when the movie first came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's this like super chipper blonde chick, like I think she's an android or something. Tessa did a cosplay of him.
Okay.
It's cute.
Yeah. This is very weird though. It kind of came out of nowhere and I looked at it and I was like, I mean, I guess, sure. Like, it looks all right, but you get different bicycles and different like arm blasters and stuff, and yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. You asked about General Jousting. Cricket Through the Ages is coming to Nintendo Switch and PC.
That was fun. We played that.
Yeah, previously an Apple Arcade exclusive that we played all the way to the end in one sitting.
Was that an unintentional sequential?
Yeah.
We have so many of those, and they're always my favorite.
Yeah, where we actually get to the end. That was it's so funny though, because after we played that, again, I talked to Bryce about it, and Bryce was like, I don't know, that game was kind of boring. And I was like, oh, did you play it with somebody else? He's like, no, I played it single player. And I was like,
it's not a single player game.
Oh, no. You got to play it. You got to play it with somebody else. But if you get a chance, you should play it with somebody else because it's like preferably a good friend, and you should get drunk first and play it. It's just like
if a friend you really like to shit talk, that's who you need to.
Silliness.
Yeah.
There's a lot of silliness. So
it's goofy and dumb, and I loved it.
Speaking of goofy, dumb shit that I love, we got a full trailer for Warhammer 40K, the Power Wash Simulator Warhammer 40K crossover.
Beautiful.
Along with a lot of...
This is so stupid that I love it.
The what? Just all the Power Wash Simulator
like Power
stuff?
Wash Simulator being like, yeah, we got a new license. There is no chance in hell they thought that this was going to be a thing.
Yeah. It's so funny because the only thing I can think of when I look at Power Wash Simulator was Viscera Cleanup Detail that tried to do this shit forever ago, where it was like, oh, we're going to give you a room where a video game thing has happened and you have to clean it up. It was the most irritating fucking game in the world.
Yeah.
Like once you mopped up too much blood, then when you put your mop back down, it just put blood back on the floor and it was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just satisfying.
Yeah.
It just goes ding, 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 ding.
They made a point to give you like just the right amount of satisfaction for everything you do. I'm
kind of sad that the PSVR 2 doesn't have the VR version. It's only on the MetaQuest, but and it's coming out February 27th. And I really like that they have a voiceover for this. It's all Warhammer 40K.
Nice.
One of the things in Warhammer 40K that is a saying that they talk about is like purging the Xenos or whatever, and then or purge the unclean. And so that's like what they end this trailer with. Is that
that's beautiful use of audio. Yeah.
Yeah. So love it. Love it. And that is our trailers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let's get a couple more things, and then we'll be done. Hi-Fi Rush is coming to the PS5 in March.
Nice. Everybody get it.
Yep. That was one of the other games that we knew was coming to other things, and then right after they announced the Switch, because the Switch got grounded in Pentiment, and then this is Hi-Fi Rush coming to the PS5.
Nice.
Yep. They had a little, March 19th, they had a little trailer for it, where it was Chai and the Kale, the bad guy, like negotiating about what it would take to get it on the PS5. It was pretty funny.
Nice.
Yep. I finally finished that game. It was pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah, right. That game, I remember it was shockingly good when we were playing it. Like, we just were expecting like another bullshit whatever game, and then we just like, oh man, I'm really super enamored by this game.
I had to go, but it was one of the games that I did on my like catch up with stuff I didn't finish in 2023 time.
Yeah,
and it was really good. Pokemon's got some new plushies out.
Cute.
They're very specifically like the
Littles
evolved
and
yeah, like they're little versions and then big versions of the same Pokemon, and they are like set up so that they can kind of like they're strung together so they can kind of like hug each other.
That's
type of thing.
Cute. Yep. I don't want them, but they're cute.
Not even this Pikachu seems like they're having a great time, but the Pichu here is like, looking about to cry.
All the little ones look like they're gonna cry, and all the bigger ones look real happy.
They're just having a great time.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Oh no, you didn't.
No, I don't have Netflix.
Yeah,
I know the
Concierge.
claymation. Yeah. They're already working on new episodes for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Release it on DVD or Blu-ray, bitch. I'll watch it then.
There you go.
I don't have Netflix.
They're putting out a new Fallout anthology with all 7 of the actual Fallout games that exist right now, and they come in a little mini nuke.
That's kind of cute.
What's interesting about it, though, is there's no physical media. What it is you get 7 special cards, and each one of them has a Steam code on the back of it. So, I'm
only kind of okay with that because that is a cute little nuke.
Yeah.
But
also, a lot of these games have been out for a long fucking time, and like this is just a gimmick.
Yeah, I imagine some of the people that buy it already have the games and just want the
little nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, Fallout 3, Game of the Year Edition, Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition, Fallout 4, Game of the Year Edition, and Fallout 76. So it's a lot of Fallout. I think about half of those are worth playing.
That's a lot of falling.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 out of 7 are really worth playing. Let's see. From there, speaking of Fallout, this is a very silly thing. So somebody made a mod a long time ago where they put Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit into Fallout New Vegas.
Sure, of course.
And the whole thing is that they put him in there, and then when you did your dialogue with him, all of his responses were audio clips from his songs, like lyrics.
Amazing. I'll move in, I'll move out.
Right. Whenever you tell him like, okay, that's enough, let's go, he's like rolling.
That's amazing.
And this was thought to be lost for a long time because it was put up on Nexus Mods, who eventually just took it down.
Yeah. Why?
And the guy that made it had formatted his hard drive and he just didn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And recently, somebody was like, I think I have that. Like pulled out like an old computer and an old hard drive and it still had the mod on it.
That's amazing.
And just zipped it up and put it on a Google Drive link and was like, have at it, ladies and gentlemen.
That's amazing.
And apparently Fred Durst also liked their tweet or whatever. So
Grandpa Durst don't know what the fuck that means.
Yep.
He's like, they modded me?
I don't know what it is. So yeah. If you want Fred Durst,
you'll be loving this shit right here.
I watched some video of it and I was like, this is fucking ridiculous, but I can see why somebody would do it.
Yeah, that is pretty standard modding community.
Yep. So the PS5 portal is the thing that lets you stream games from your PS5 over the network to the PS5 portal.
Yeah.
So kind of useless, and I don't think anybody likes it or wants it or gives a shit about it.
I don't know anybody that's ever talked about it.
Yep. But apparently some dudes over at like the Google safety team hacked this thing and figured out that it's got enough like memory and onboard storage to run PSP games. And so they got like some Grand Theft Auto PSP games running
funny
natively, not streaming, but natively on it. I was just like, it was a little weird to me that it was like, these guys are like guys that work at Google. And I feel like Sony would be like, hey, fucking stop it.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Don't do that.
But hey, that would I would actually maybe buy that thing if I could make it into like an emulator for old games as opposed to streaming shit that I sit 6 inches from. So
that's fair. I'm a handheld gamer girl, so that works for me.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't like PlayStation, so it doesn't work for me. Two sides of every coin.
This should not be a shock to anyone, but a team is working on the PC version of Persona 3 to put the female protagonist from Persona 3 handheld back into the game. So
she was not in the game?
Okay, so Persona 3 came out and it had a dude protagonist. PSP version of Persona 3 called Persona 3 Portable came out, and they added in this lady protagonist as an option, so you could switch between the two of them.
Okay.
They remade Persona 3 for Xbox for the Game Pass and all that stuff.
Yep.
They did not put the lady protagonist in there.
Weird.
And they also came out and said, we're not going to be doing an ultimate version or a new version that adds that functionality in, even though that's a fucking lie. They've done that for just about everything that's come out.
They would do that? Just come right out and lie to us?
But some mod teams have been like basically trying to get that character model like back in the game in a way that like works with the game. The only big problem is that they've got the guy version's face like plastered all over the option screens.
Yeah.
And it's like a very custom bespoke animation. But they're at least like moving in that direction. The internet will, if the internet wants something,
they will make it happen.
I've seen people that have spent 10 years making mods for games where I'm like, I think like 8 people played that game.
Yeah. Fandoms are strong and horrifying.
Good on you. Last but not least, Amanda, I have a special treat for you.
Oh, just for me?
Somebody made...
Nobody else listen. This one's just for me.
Somebody made... This is a person called Cloak and Kill on Twitter, made the lamp from Alan Wake 2.
Oh!
And then they put an Arduino, like a little chip in it, that connects to their Alexa home network. And so they're literally able to like
take the light and
from
then
a place,
put it somewhere
and then
else.
Put it somewhere else in their house.
Did somebody let Sam Lake know? Because I feel like he'd be really excited about it.
I think that the Alan Wake 2 account
retweeted it or reposted it,
liked it with like it was like with the coffee guy, one of the commercials with the coffee guy with like a thumbs up. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have thought about making that, but like as a lamp and not as like a.
Oh, like
I can't.
A standalone
yeah, like
lamp?
I don't have the capabilities of doing something where I can make it like work. But like as a standalone lamp,
I bet if you made it as a standalone lamp, you and I could figure out how to make how to shove a little Arduino with a Wi-Fi chip into a clicker.
Yeah.
That was disconnected from the lamp that could just turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so fun. I want it.
Yep. And that's it. That's podcast.
Yay.
We're about 4 minutes under. But that's okay.
Shit. Vamp for 4 minutes, Jeff. You can do it.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Tell me.
I ate one of Taco Bell's new menu items last week.
Which one?
The only one that's there right now. Most of them are coming in March. The Crispinata.
The Crispinata.
Yes. This is basically an empanada full of chicken and cheese.
Yeah. It looks like Hot Pocket. I understand what empanadas are, but the Taco Bell is not doing authentic Mexican food. This shit looks like a Hot Pocket.
Yes.
That looks like a Mexican Hot Pocket.
Yes.
How was it?
It's basically like a fried pie. Like it's like a
it's their apple pie. It's
Oh, is that it? Because like a McDonald's fried pie, except instead of sweet shit, it's just got a bunch of chicken and cheese in it.
Yeah.
And then you got some like dipping sauce and you like dip it in there. It's about this big and it costs $3. And I'm like, it was fine. It's just the thing is that like it's as a okay, let me tell you. The taste was relatively good. Like every single version of this that has ever existed at a fast food restaurant, it was too fucking hot.
Yeah.
So the first bite I took burned my fucking mouth.
It looks like burn your face off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And because it was too hot, the first bite was one of those.
Yep.
One of those.
And then you couldn't taste anything else afterwards because your tongue was burnt.
No, I was fine. I've got a very strong tongue over the years. I've built up a lot of taste buds.
Ladies.
Yes. But the problem is that they put molten chicken and cheese inside of an empanada and then gave you a dipping sauce.
Yeah.
So if you try to dip the open part of the Crispinata in, the chicken falls into the spicy jalapeno ranch sauce that they give you with it.
Yeah.
So you have to really like Jenga that shit like kind of at an angle. All told, it was not worth my time or effort.
Yeah.
I would have rather gotten the $2.50 stacker.
$250?
$250 gold-plated Crispinata. No, it's fine as a stunt. Like I may order it again.
Yeah.
It's just fried chicken and cheese. Like there's some limits to how bad it can be.
I feel like if it was a part of some combo that I was like really eager for and it happened to be a part of it, I wouldn't be like, no, I'm not eating it. But like
I think they have one. The cheesy crisp. You know what, though?
No, but fuck that. You guys listen to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Preach it, sister. I know where you're going with this.
Any deluxe box that they come out with that has those bullshit cinnamon twists.
Yes. Fuck those. Fuck them. I don't need a fucking dessert.
No, I worked at fucking Taco Bell. My first job ever was at a Taco Bell, and those cinnamon crisps are like 27 cents a bundle to make, and then you guys buy them for like $1 or $2, and then they shove them in a fucking $10 deluxe box. Fuck that shit. I chips and cheese maybe, but the cinnamon twist,
it's garbage.
Yeah,
it's
fuck
garbage.
that. I'll never touch it. And then that cinnamon gets all over the rest of the fucking food in that box.
They shove it all in one box.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yep. I fucking hate that. Last time I went to a Taco Bell, went back before this box used to be $6 like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Like it is now $10. It used to be $6. And I know there ain't no fucking supply chain problem with the cinnamon crispas because you guys have been shoving them in my food forever. When I would go there and I'd be like, okay, give me the $6 box. Because I would get like the $6 box and I'd get like another taco.
Yeah.
They give me the $6 box. Like, can I get like chips and queso instead of the cinnamon crispas? And they'd be like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, can you just not put those in there?
Yeah, I'm not going to eat them.
Not fucking put you throw them away or something. Like
cinnamon dust. I don't want that shit.
Also, what a specific thing. Who's into fucking cinnamon that hard?
Also, just so we're clear, just get a fucking churro.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is it this weird wheat crisp bullshit?
Well,
make me a churro.
Once they skinned all the churros, they had to do something with the rinds that were left over.
This is the LaCroix of churros. Why would I want this?
You can't even chew them. They just dissolve into paste in your mouth.
Or they're like mildly stale and they just shred the top of your fucking mouth. No, don't put it in your goddamn food. What am I going to do? Put it in my Baja Blast?
Don't put it in there. Just leave it out. Throw it on the trash. Throw it on the street. Everybody should leave Taco Bell.
Fucking birds.
Fucking open that shit and just throw it out the window on the street and be like, yeah, that's what I think of your bullshit Taco Bell. Fucking Taco Bell raising the price of the fucking cheesy bean and rice burrito. It was supposed to be 99 cents, Amanda.
We loved you. We used to love you.
You were the chosen one.
We're told that you would end
the hunger. You were supposed to bring us the fourth meal, not destroy it. Okay. Well, now we're over time. Take that, Taco Bell, you sons of bitches. Listen to the end of my podcast. I no longer want a sponsorship from you. I really do.
And we do, though.
Like, seriously. No, if you gave me free food, I would say nice things about it. But
yeah, I'd lie for... I'd lie for the right amount of money.
But you're making me pay too much for fucking cinnamon air.
Yeah. Maybe if you paid me a little more, those prices wouldn't look as bad.
I'll take a lifetime 50% off coupon at this point. Like
a golden Taco Bell card.
Yeah. Probably one of those things where then it's like years later you're going to be reading about Jeff in the paper like, local man has Taco Bell 50% off card revoked this week. Where corporate says it was only good for the first $1 million worth of purchases. The man seems to have gone through that in fucking 90 days.
Doctors are investigating.
Also, the man's dead. Patreon.com/RageSelect. Help me to buy Taco Bell. Please, come on. If you like this podcast, it does take time and effort to make, and the Patreon's been down a little bit recently. So if you got an extra $5, I'm not asking for much. Just half of a Crispinata box. Come on. You know you want to.
That's 2 Crispinatas.
That's almost 2 Crispinatas.
That's most of 2 crisp and a half.
It's $3.50 for one.
Oh my God.
So it's like two
chicken flatbread double cheese sandwich things. John loves those.
Oh God. Anyway, sorry. That's it. We're done. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Get out of here.